Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe.
Hi,
talking.
Jenny.
Good. How are you guys?
As long as we don't have to talk about those Cowboys anymore, I'm okay.
Yeah, whatever.
I doubt that.
After I beat you in this first segment, you're going to come back in the next block with a tie on, and then I have my shirt on.
Want to bet?
Yeah.
A billion cases of Diet Dew against that? Yeah.
I tell you what, if the Cowboys get to the Super Bowl, you got to wear a tie on the show.
Now, why would I get penalized for the greatest thing?
You wear a tie?
One time?
Yeah, back in the day. Like, how long
I've seen him wear.
I've never seen you with a tie.
I've been with this man for 3 years. I've seen him wear a tie one time, and that's because Ernestine made him go back upstairs and put a tie on.
And then I came down and you didn't have a tie on, so I took it off. Right?
Solid game around here.
My first day on what was originally this show called Cold Pizza, September 6th of 2004, I did not wear a tie, and I've never worn a tie on the show.
Wow.
There we go.
There you go. Yep. Okay, we've got a ton to get to on the show today. Are the Seahawks a legit threat to come out of the NFC? That was a tough one for my Vikings last night. And is Tom Brady about to get some help at wide receiver? But first, we are going to start, Skip, with the Cowboys coming off their Thanksgiving loss to the Bills. Cowboys practice reportedly got chippy on Sunday as they began preparations for Thursday's battle against the Bears. After losing 6 of their past 9 games in 2 and 5 days, Ezekiel Elliott says their anger about not meeting expectations spilled onto the practice field with some trash talking and chippy play. But Dak Prescott says the time for talking is done. Take a listen.
Talk's cheap, right? We've talked a lot and we've talked a bunch and gotten ourselves right to where we are. So in a moment like this, I say hell with the talking, and I'm going to do more. I'm going to work harder.
Do you think fiery speeches can help sometimes?
They have their times, but if you need to be fired up at 6 and 6, this in the locker room for you.
All right, Shannon, what do you make of this?
Man, you know what? If Skip didn't like the Cowboys so much, Dak would be my favorite player.
Really?
Yeah, because he's the voice of reason.
So he's growing on you.
Man, that joker there, man, that's a leader.
Yeah.
That's how you approach it. Talking, we've been talking, and he said it, we've been doing a lot of talking, and it's gotten us exactly where we are, 6 and 6. At some point in time, those words need to be met with actions. And Dak understands that. You know, all that chippy play, all that pushing and shoving, for what? You get 60 minutes on Thursday to possibly go 7 and 6, or you're going to be 6 and 7. It's as simple as that. So talking is not going to do anything. But this goes to show me why Dak Prescott is the leader, the unquestioned leader of that locker room, because the way he handles every situation. Yes, he takes a lot of criticism when they lose. And the question about, man, he should have signed that contract. If he had that contract, he'd be playing a lot better. Dak is going about it the right way. I love the way he handles his business. But for me, Skip, at this juncture of the year, chippiness comes off as false bravado. It's like you tried to talk, you're there, yeah, we gonna get them. We ready. Okay, you still got to play. And you're 48 hours away, starting today, you're 48 hours from playing that game. And all that chippiness and all that talking doesn't do anything. Actions. That talking need to be met with actions. Are you gonna play better? Or line, are you gonna block better? Zeke, are you gonna run harder? Defense, are you gonna do your assignments? You're gonna know where you're supposed to be and get there suddenly? Because all that other stuff, it does not even matter, Skip. For me, I remember we went through a situation a couple of times in Denver. Skip, we started off at, I think we were 11-1, and then we lose 3 straight games. Now, we had to have a team meeting, but it wasn't because we were losing. It was because something transpired on a Monday night game in San Francisco that we had to discuss that. But Skip, it was no chippiness, no talk. Hey, let's get back to what we do, and let's see what happens. Baltimore, Skip, we went 5 straight weeks. We didn't score an offensive touchdown. Let that sink in for just a second, Skip. We won 3 of those games. No talking, no chippiness. Hey, we know we better than this. Let's just go play. And our words had to be met with actions, and that's what happened. But I love Dak, Skip. I love the way this is a leader. If anybody wants to know what a leader looks like, look at him, look at what he said, as opposed to what everybody else is saying. That's the guy that you can follow, and he'll take you where you need to be.
Wow. Shannon Sharpe just said something nice about Dak
I always talk
Prescott
nice about
and
him.
the Dallas Cowboys. You give him an F every Sunday.
No, I don't give him no F every Sunday. What about when in Detroit? When I gave him an A++?
It was like some bizarre overreaction. I don't even know what it was. A++ to FFF. I have no idea, but mostly every game they've lost, you've given him an F, so he can't even get a C from you. And then he just got an A+ from you for leadership.
Yes,
I've told you from the start, he is a born natural leader. That's the only thing I can trust. He's the only thing I've had to trust all year. So let me get this off my chest.
Okay.
I obviously love to talk about the Dallas Cowboys.
You do?
I love to talk about LeBron James. What do they have in common other than LeBron is a huge Cowboy fan?
That's where he and I part ways.
That is correct. But the Cowboys are annually the most interesting team in pro football, if not in sports, for better or for worse.
Yes.
Love them, hate them. They just do crazy things, unpredictable things, great and bad, bad and great.
Your 40 years of covering sports, you know sports is about one thing. It's about stories.
Yep.
They always have the most compelling storylines.
They do. And they're the most entertaining team for better and for worse.
Correct.
LeBron, it's always something.
Yep.
Every day. We're going to talk about a LeBron story from Danny Green. It's just like every day there's a new story about LeBron. It can be soap opera or it can be great. It can be like, there's always some dynamic operating around LeBron James, which makes him the most interesting man in sports.
Yep.
So, all that said, I am getting sick and tired of talking about these Dallas Cowboys because they have worn me completely out. What did I say last Friday? I'm done with them. And then the Eagles face planted in Miami and brought them somehow weirdly back to life, the Cowboys. But I have waited so long, game after game after game, since that opening 3-0 stretch, to your point, against nobodies. But I have waited so long. The games are endless to me. The losses take forever to play because I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for them to catch fire.
Right.
One play, one big, crazy, some kind of play that detonates them for liftoff. It has not happened all year, all too long. So I've tried everything. I don't know how you operate in your house, but I've tried wearing different jerseys. I've tried throwing a jersey in the trash. I've tried different...
watching the TV in a different room.
Hats on?
I've all kinds of different hats. I've tried different T-shirts. I've tried different shorts. I've tried different underwear. I've tried different socks. I've tried everything imaginable, and nothing works with this team to the point where I keep saying, you know what?
You give up?
Some years are just not meant to be, and it feels like this is not meant to be until the Eagles went to Miami and lost.
Goodness.
And it's only because of the Eagles. The only reason we're still talking about the Dallas Cowboys is because the Eagles have been even worse than the Dallas Cowboys, which brings me back to chip on our shoulder, says Ezekiel Elliott. I've had some issues all year with Zeke because I'm not seeing the same Zeke that I used to see. So now he says it's getting chippy in practice because we got chips on our shoulders. They had chips on their shoulders when Minnesota visited Dallas in that night game.
Right.
And guess what? Your Vikings knocked that chip right off their shoulder in Jerry World.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they had a chip on their shoulder when they went to New England.
Yep.
And guess what? Up there in the rain and the cold, the chip got knocked right off their shoulder. And then they had the biggest chip on their shoulder. Oh, Buffalo, we got a chip on our shoulder for Buffalo. And the Bills came in and beat them worse than anyone's beaten them all year because they just beat them up and beat them down.
They did?
Okay, so chips are littered all over the turf. They've been knocked off your shoulder again and again. And it brings me back to that night after Buffalo. Who called out the team? Who ranted and raved in the locker room and threw a fit? It was the guy who just joined them a month ago.
Right.
What does that tell you? That Michael Bennett comes in, and he's the one guy with the ring. There's one other guy, but nobody, Cam Fleming from the Patriots. But he's the one guy with, nobody's listening to Cam Fleming. So Michael Bennett just tears into him. We're better than this. And when he uses the we, I cringe because is he really a we? I don't think he's a we yet, right?
He done bought in.
Okay, well, I guess so. But how would you feel if a guy came in as an outsider and called out your team while Dak didn't call him out after the game. Zeke didn't. Jalen Smith didn't. Leighton Vander Esch didn't. Byron Jones, none of your cornerstone, Zach Martin, none of those guys called him out.
And being the leader, maybe that's one of Dak's problems because he's like, I'm only 4 years, and most of these guys have been here 8, 9 years.
That's right.
You look at the offensive line, and you look at these other guys that's been here longer than I have, maybe he doesn't feel it's his place.
Yep.
But it is his place. He's the leader.
Yeah.
Because I can assure you, Troy Aikman would have called people out.
You better believe he would have. So the point is, did Jason Witten call anybody out? No, he's 3 years older than Michael Bennett. This is his 16th year as a Dallas Cowboy. He hasn't been in Seattle or Philadelphia.
Right.
He's just been in Dallas.
Right.
Did he call him? Nope, he didn't call anybody out. Did the head coach call anybody out? He doesn't do that. That's not how he's built.
Right.
So it's weird to me that they're having to rely on this guy from nowhere, Michael Bennett, who's suddenly calling them out, which brings me back to Dak. And I loved what he said yesterday as opposed to what Zeke said because, to your point, talk is cheap right now. That's how he started this comment. And he said, we've talked a bunch and we got ourselves right to where we are. 6-6. That's where you talk.
That's where the talking got.
So he says, in a moment like this, I say, hell with talking. So do I.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear any of them talk. I just want to see how they play. And then he's talking about for a young guy looking for somebody to figure out how to do it. You look at me because I'm just going to put my head down and keep doing what I'm doing and work even harder than I worked. Okay, great. That's beautiful. Now it comes back to who are they and what are they? Why are they still somehow weirdly on life support? It's because they beat the Eagles on that Sunday night at Jerry World back on October 20th. And help me out. How did they beat the Eagles? They did something they haven't done all the rest of the year. They forced 2 early turnovers.
They took the ball away.
Right away. In the very first series, Carson Wentz hits Dallas Goedert. Dallas does Dallas. And Jalen Smith forces a fumble that they recovered.
Right.
Okay, beautiful, right?
Then touchdown,
okay. Bang. They took it right in and they closed the deal and cashed in with the touchdown. And then right away in the next series, DeMarcus Law strips Carson Wentz and it's a fumble and they recover it and they get to go short field. They went 14 yards for a touchdown. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's 14-0 and that game was virtually over right then, right?
Yep.
Okay, my team since then is 3 overall since the first 3 games is 3-6. That counts that one win against Philadelphia. And if you look at who they are and what they are, they're 26th in forcing turnovers. 26th. Guess what? They're dead last in intercepting passes.
Yeah.
Dead last? Well, how can I defend that? Right. I can't. So they don't take the ball away.
It's hard for your offense just to score points, Skip, when the defense doesn't give them short fields or doesn't give them extra possessions.
Right.
It's really hard to consistently, we're going to score 30 points, but we're going to get it all by offense. They punt the ball to us and we drive the ball down the field.
Okay.
No takeaways, no pick sixes, no scooping scores, no short fields. That's hard to do over 16 games.
It's hard to do because they've had no pick sixes and no scooping scores. So in goal-to-go situations where you get it first and goal at the X, right? Where it's under 10 yards to go. In actually scoring touchdowns with goal-to-goal situations, they have scored 67% of the time. That ranks 20th in the NFL. So you have Ezekiel Elliott in your backfield, and you have Dak Prescott, who's a very good goal-to-go runner of the football, and they're 20th in cashing that in on goal-to-goal. Well, doesn't that just sort of sum it up for you?
It really does. But, Skip, you keep talking about the talking and all that. You say they talk too much. You know where they get that from? Jerry. All Jerry does is talk. Skip, he had this thing yesterday. What he said is he wrote some quotes from Ben Franklin where he learns patience or something like that, Skip. Well, I got a quote for you, Jerry. I'm going to see if you like this one. When things go well, you say little. And when they go bad, you say even less.
Yep.
Because things have been going really bad for you, and you're talking even more. And guess what you got your team doing? Talking right behind you, not playing. So at some point in time, all this right here needs to be followed by this right there. Playing. Skip, playing. You see the thing, that's what I love about sport, because you can't talk your way in or out of something. At some point in time, you got to get on the floor, you got to get on the field, and you got to do what you said, those words that came out of your mouth. But we're gonna do this, we're gonna do all of that, we're gonna hit them in the mouth, and we're gonna get back to playing cowboy football. Okay, I'm gonna see Thursday night. With all that talking and all that chippiness, got you. Because we going to see, Skip.
Okay, but why did Jerry Jones buy this team in 1989? For really one reason and one reason only. He wanted to be the primary spokesman for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes.
And since 1989, that's a long time ago,
30
he has
plus.
been the primary spokesman.
Yes.
He knows that that Cowboy Nation waits on edge of seat for his remarks on his radio show early in the week.
Fair.
Skip.
Or when he addresses the media
do.
in the middle of the week.
Jerry became more famous for owning the Cowboys than he would have been had he still been worth $6 billion and not on the Cowboys. How many people you think would know who Jerry Jones is? Because there are a lot of people, Skip, that got way more money than Jerry Jones. We don't even know one. But we know who Jerry is because why, Skip? That star. He owns the Cowboys. And every time, before Jason Garrett, before any player speaks, who's speaking after the games? I never heard of this. I mean, occasionally an owner would call into a radio show. But to have his own radio show, to have his own TV show.
And he is the general manager, so, okay.
He's the owner, general manager, VP, he's all that.
He's all of the above. He is, by the way, still a legend in the oil fields in Oklahoma and Texas and Arkansas.
Right.
So those people knew of him, but nobody outside the oil fields knew anything about Jerry Jones. And now he is the most famous owner in sports. Is there anybody even close?
No.
I can't think of anybody.
No.
I mean, George Steinbrenner used to be.
Used to be, right. And that's what, Skip, you said it, and if you look at him, his mentor in pro football was Al Davis. Al Davis taught.
Yeah, took him right under his wing the first year.
And so he became a cross between George Steinbrenner and Al Davis.
He did.
And
this is true.
And voila.
Okay, and by the way, his thing is the Ben Franklin method that he uses. I've been using this since I was a little kid to determine a big decision. You just make a line down the middle of the page. You say pros, cons.
Yeah.
Pros, cons.
I just didn't realize where it came from. Yeah.
Well, I don't know that it came from Ben. I don't know where that came from. Ben Franklin? But I think everybody's been doing that for years.
Yeah, okay, the pros.
So you see if the pros
outweigh the cons.
Yes, or there are more of them, but then you have to actually weight each one of them.
Right.
But he's saying that the pros of this year's Dallas Cowboys far outweigh the cons. And he said, bottom line, I've made much riskier bets in my life than this one. Like he's betting on a much surer thing in his mind than he has drilling oil wells or whatever.
Yeah, I guess because he's looking at it. Because I guess he could somewhat control where he drilled. Skip, he got no control over this. You can assemble the best. You're like, okay, I got the best quarterback, best running back. I got the best of the best of what I can do. But at some point in time, and this is what I'm talking to John, who's not John Elway, who's the general manager. He says it's harder for him now because he got no control. When I play quarterback, I get to control everything, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Jerry got no control now, Skip.
Yeah. And what's driving me the craziest is there's still no do or die to any of this because the wildest sort of situation I've ever encountered in trying to for a team to make the playoffs has just happened for the 2019 Dallas Cowboys because truthfully, you realize they can lose the next two games, no problem, and still be right in the catbird seat.
You know what, Skip? Okay. I think the worst thing that happened to them was the Eagles losing because it still didn't give them a heightened sense of an emergency.
There's no do or die?
No. If the Eagles had won, now all of a sudden, hold up, we even. Now we mess around and lose a game. Now we got to go there with a chance for the division to be on the line.
Well, you could lose your chance to go to Philly and win that game.
Right.
But now you can lose at Chicago and lose to the Rams, and still you're just fine.
Right.
All you got to do is go beat them a second time, and then close it out against Washington at home, and you win the division.
Correct.
Well, I've never heard anything like this.
No.
So you would win with 8-8, you would get a home playoff game, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there's no sense of real urgency right now.
No, there's not.
And it doesn't really help you if you do beat Chicago and you do beat the Rams. It only helps your motivation. I mean, your momentum and your sort of your self-image. You feel better about yourselves, but it doesn't really get you anywhere. You still got to go win at Philadelphia.
Right.
So it's like the next two games are rendered sort of irrelevant.
Well, Skip, here's the thing. If they go ahead and win these next two games, even if they lose to Philly, they're still in front. They just have to close it out. So they're in a – this is why I felt that the Eagles really didn't put the Cowboys on the hot seat, because had they lost this game, now all of a sudden, Chicago, the Rams, this game becomes even magnified.
Absolutely.
But because you lost it, Cowboys like, we still good.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the likelihood of we losing 2 of the last 4 ball games? I like our chances.
So
that's what they're saying now.
We're fighting each other in practice. Maybe that's the only fight you can win. I don't know, with each other. I'd like to see you go win a fight with the Bears. I don't know.
Let me tell you what happened. If we had started a fight in practice, Mike Shannon would have blew the whistle and called it up and said, look here, now one of you guys break a hand, break a finger or something, I'm going to cut both of you.
Yeah.
And that would have been the end of that.
That's interesting.
And for what Jason Garrett to let this happen, transpire, I mean, why are you fighting in practice?
Okay, well, maybe Jason's thinking, ooh, maybe this will motivate my team.
Oh, but please.
So you don't like it?
No,
I think it shows.
I just try to fight no practice. Now, Skip, in training camp, especially when we're scrimmage against other teams, now we want to end practice, just start a fight.
Okay.
All right, that's it. But not the regular. At this juncture, you 13 weeks into the season, and you need to find a teammate to get you motivated to go beat up on Chicago.
And worst of all, they know they're favored to go win at Bears this Thursday night on Fox because they're a 3-point favorite at Chicago because Vegas just keeps loving them every week except the week they went to New England. Yeah. So, again, I get sick and tired of them being favored because the truth is, the harder I look at them, I don't even know how you can favor them at Chicago because what evidence do you have that they're 3 points better than the Bears? The Bears, by the way, have won 3 of their last 4.
Yes.
Dallas has lost 3 of its last 4 and is 3-6 over its last 9 games. So show me evidence. Dallas barely held off Detroit at Detroit. Show me evidence.
Yep, if you've been betting with the Cowboys, you're probably losing. Vegas has been betting with the Cowboys. They're kind of losing right now.
Okay, they did cover at New England where they're a 6.5-point underdog on the road, obviously.
But here's the thing. They were favored against Minnesota. They were favored against Buffalo.
By 6.5.
and caught an L.
Yeah, and didn't even come close in that one to me.
They were favored at Green Bay.
Yeah. So I keep telling you, I look at the defense and I say, it's way overrated. It just doesn't play up to any of that quote-unquote potential.
Right.
The offensive line doesn't play nearly to its
The whole Cowboys, Skip, basically you can wrap it up. They're inconsistent. Because one game you look, okay, you can see why people say that's the best offensive line in football. The opening hole for Zeke, and no one can get. I mean, you saw Dak throwing lanes. He was just like, wow, nice out here. I'm in an actual football game, and nobody's even close.
Yep.
And then the next game they play, Dak's running for his life.
Yep.
Like he's in a scary movie.
So I see a team that has lost its confidence, its mojo, its momentum, its winning edge, its ability to know how to go win a football game. You've been on teams where you just knew somebody's going to make the play that we're going to get over the hump today.
Yep.
This team has never gotten over a hump.
Jason need to call him up and have a pep talk.
Yep.
Jason Garrett need to give him a pep talk. Call him in for a team meeting.
I don't know if
give
that's
him a
really
pep
his
talk.
style.
It's not
Shannon.
what he does.
You need to have Skip, you to have like one of his old movies, one of these war movies where he's going over the wall and the cannon's going off and fired. That's what he needs, Jason.
Play a few movies.
I saw a quote from Jason yesterday. We're just going to put our heads down and do what we're doing.
Ah, man, they ain't going to do it. They ain't going to do it, Skip.
That's all they do.
They ain't going to do it.
What you've been doing hasn't been working.
They going to do it. They ain't going to do it, Skip. They going to get me motivated.
I just can't believe it.
All that said, they're still in the old catbird seat.
Is it the weirdest position?
It's the weirdest. I've never heard of anything like this before.
Well, I'm glad Mike didn't tell us to put our head down because that would get us motivated. He would put up clips of highlights of things that we've done well.
Yep.
Now, those are the guys. You see you guys how you flying around? You see how you guys having fun? I want to see that on Sunday.
Yep.
You think Jason going to put one of those on, Skip? One of those montage, y'all got that thing going?
No.
Okay, well, got a couple more days before we see them back in action again, and maybe they've made some changes after these practices. The dynamic is fascinating to me.
No mercy.
The Seahawks nearly blew a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter, but they held on to beat the Vikings 37-30 last night. Their 5th straight win put Seattle on top of the NFC West and at number 2 in the NFC. Russell Wilson finished with 240 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a knockout 60-yarder to David Moore, but it was the tailback group led by Chris Carson and Rashad Penny who carried Seattle to victory on Monday. So, Shannon, how big of a threat are the Seahawks to come out of the NFC?
Skip, they're a huge threat. I got them just behind New Orleans. It looks like right now they're in the 2 slot, and San Francisco got some tough road ahead of them. to try to, they got to go to New Orleans. They still have to go to Seattle again. So it's going to be very interesting how this thing plays out. Skip, but when you look at, they're going to be a tough out because of the quarterback. And the quarterback plays like he's never out of a ball game. And his team knows they're never out of a ball game as long as they have him. Skip, everybody doesn't have the stomach to play these type games. Think about it. They're 9-1 in one-score ball games. 9-1. So they're going to play it close to the vest because, Skip, they're a running team. They almost doubled up Minnesota in time of possession. 39-45 to 20-15. When you run the ball like that, Skip, and the thing is, I think what in Seattle and also Baltimore showed us, just because you run the ball doesn't mean you can't be explosive. Skip, they went for 24 points in a 10-minute and 30-second span in the third and the fourth quarters and basically blew the game open. Now, they turned the ball over and let Minnesota back into the ball game, but it just goes to show you, if you can't stop their run, because they running team Baltimore, this team Seattle, Skip, they limit your possessions. You're not going to get your customary 10, 12 possessions that you normally think you would get in a ball game. They're going to run the 218, 43 attempts, 218. Well, when you run the ball, clock, tick, 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 tick. And you see Kirk Cousins on the sideline just warming up. Okay, it's third down. Let me get this arm loose. Okay, now I got to go sit back down on the bench. Okay, y'all up again, Skip, it's third down. Get this arm loose. Got to go sit back down on the bench. And he just keeps driving a lot. Skip, he's turned himself into a damn good pocket passer. He can throw the ball unbelievable from the pocket. But you still got to worry about his legs because he still can go get that first down, but he's also looking down the field. He's not going straight ahead. He's moving side to side. He's moving laterally. Okay, let me see if DK Metcalf, let me see if Moore, let me see if Lockett is, let me find Hollister, my tight end, who's turned himself into a very good tight end, started the season on the practice squad. The third and rush, 144 yards a game, and Skip, they get games in this building. Russ doesn't lose at home in the playoffs. And he's beaten some damn good teams. He's 5-0 in the playoffs. Green Bay, we thought that game was over, and somehow he found a way to win. We know the battles that they've had with San Francisco in the playoffs. They don't lose at home with this young man at playing the quarterback position. Now, Skip, they don't have the names in the secondary. There's no more Sherman. There's no Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor. But they still got Bobby Wagner and K.J. Wright. Jadeveon Clowney is wreaking havoc. They signed Ziggy Ansel, who's, rounding back into shape. Jaron Reed. They're better than you think. And because they played so far north in the Pacific Northwest, Skip, they don't get a lot of credit. But this team is very dangerous. I got them slightly behind New Orleans. But they're going to be they're going to be a tough out for anybody that have to play them. But what's so amazing, Skip, they've lost their games at home. They're undefeated on the road. So they will take their show on the road. And when you get in that building, the 12th man, Skip, it starts getting loud, and you get those pre-snap penalties, and all of a sudden it was 2nd and 5 and now it's 2nd and 10, or it's 3rd and 5 and it's 3rd and 10, and they get to pin their ears back and tee off on you. So they're going to be a tough out. I got them right behind New Orleans.
I did not see what you saw last night from the home team Seattle Seahawks. I have not been particularly impressed with the Seahawks all year. And by the way, this is the flip side of what we just talked about. In the A block of our show, I still can't believe my Cowboys did not close the deal against your Vikings. They had them, they let them off the ropes. And my team did beat these Seahawks, although they're a little better this year, but they did beat them in the playoffs last year. So, again, if my team somehow backs into the division and plays, I don't know, Seattle in the first round or any of these teams.
Oh, you're going to get New Orleans. You're going to get, you'll get San Francisco for this. Yeah.
Maybe San
Might get Green Bay.
You just don't know. I'm not afraid of any of those teams.
Oh, you better be.
Because my team does have the capability, the nuclear capability to finally explode on somebody. So here's the point of what I've seen. If Dalvin Cook had not gone down in the middle of the third quarter last night, and I still don't know how hurt he is, it looked like when he was on the turf, if we could see that,
it's a bit worrisome.
It looked like he was like crying. Didn't it look like his whole body was like writhing? Wasn't he crying because he thought his season was over?
Yeah.
And he fumbled on the play, but it looked like he got his shoulder knocked down or something.
Right.
And yet I assume that the X-ray was negative because he didn't stay in the locker room. He came back out and he sat on the bench, and then he said after the game, I could have come back in. I don't know. Could you or not? If you came and sat on the bench, why didn't you try to go?
Well, it looked like he was crying right there. What?
I don't know.
It's just a freak.
I don't get it.
You worry? Ooh.
But I do have high respect for him because he took over that game at Dallas that night, and it felt like he was about to take over this game.
Nah, he wasn't about to take it.
Yeah, well, listen, it felt like they were starting to take control of this game. And yet, in the end, I will remind you, they cut it to 34-30 with 7:14 left. And what happened? Another one of those idiot kickers. This one, he used to be my kicker, Dan Bailey. He misses the extra point. And it just takes the whole wind out of sails. It was like Michigan the other day against Ohio State. The opening, they go right down and score. And then the kicker, who's been really good all year,
shanked the PAT.
He just missed it. And it just takes all the wind out of it.
Trust me.
It's like you look at the sideline and they all go,
They were here?
Yeah.
And I was standing right there watching. You could feel it.
I know, you could just feel it. So it's 34-31. No, it's 34-30. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, now we got to go score another touchdown to win this game. We could have kicked a field goal to tie it. And then the defense rose up again and forced a punt, and Minnesota got it back, and it came down to Kirk Cousins on 4th and 3 from the 42, if we could see that. And it wasn't a bad throw. Irv Smith was just covered on the play. It's just like a bad idea because you're not going to pull this one off.
Right.
But not a bad throw. It's just he had to throw it high and outside because
and Irv is a young tight end. He needs to understand he needs to stem the guy because when you run it like that, he's going to drive on it.
Right. He's all over the top of you.
Yes.
To where he's going to get his hands on the ball maybe before you are.
Yes.
And the point was that you did have a chance, and then they held him to a field goal, and then there's the kickoff, and they fumbled the kickoff with 20 seconds left.
Yeah, that's why backs don't. That's why he's back there to block.
That's why you can't do that. That is true. So here's why I'm not completely sold on Seattle. If you look at their history so far this year at home, look at what's happened. They barely held off Cincinnati 21-20. Then the Saints go in there with Teddy Bridgewater in his first start for these Saints. It was 33-14 New Orleans with 3 minutes left in the game. And Russ, as he usually does, had put on a furious rally and cut it to 33-27, but they still lost. Then they held off the Rams 30-29. Then they held off the Bucks in overtime, 34-30. And Lamar went in there and just cleaned them out. It was 30-16, Baltimore over Seattle. And then last night, again, it was a nip-tuck game. And again, if Dalvin Cook is still on the field, I don't know. I felt like Minnesota had a real shot to win.
Well, let me tell you right now, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get Minnesota, Green Bay, Seattle, or the 49ers.
Good.
That's who you're going to get.
Bring them on.
And you're going home. If you're lucky.
We're already home.
That's who Philadelphia.
We're playing at home.
Actually, that's who Philadelphia is going to get.
Okay. Well, I think you're sort of conceding that.
Philadelphia. I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Y'all doing all that talking.
I told you, there's one place I do trust my team to win, and it's at Philadelphia. I just do. I feel good about it.
Well, maybe you should play your playoff games in Philadelphia.
Okay,
because you're definitely not winning at home in the playoffs.
Well,
which you won't be there, so I don't know why we have this discussion.
What happened last year when Russell visited Dallas?
This is a different Russ.
Yeah.
This Russ is in the MVP conversation.
Really?
Yep.
Because last year, he barely had over 100 yards passing until the bitter end, and then when it got 24-12.
Hold on. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jenny. Did they add a new rule where the game gets played in 4 quarters? Or they just play 2 quarters? That's what you tell me all the time.
I know, but this game was almost over. At the 2-minute warning, he had like 130 yards passing, and then he had little Tyler Lockett for like 60 yards, and then he got up to 230 yards.
Okay. Everybody thought the game, remember when it was Russell threw that interception to Morgan Burnett, and they were down. And they said the game's over. With 5 minutes left in the ball game, they said the game's over. And what happened, Skip? Tell the people what happened at home in 2014. Who went to the Super Bowl? So, and you don't have Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. Well, right now it looks like I'm going to have a home playoff game, so that's.
You're not having a home. Philly will have a home playoff game. You will be at, like you said, you are already at home. You will be at home.
So Russell wasn't scintillating last night. He had QBR 52. He was okay.
Yeah, the man they had 200. So what you want him to throw for 300 and have 200 yards rushing?
To your point, they had 218 rushing. That will work.
Yes. On 43 attempts. When When last time the Cowboys had 200-yard rush?
I'd like to see Zeke go for 218
I
in
bet
Chicago.
you. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Khalil Mack says it's not in my house.
Really?
Yep.
I don't think he stops the run quite the way he rushes the
But that's where they got them. That's where they got a Roquan Smith, Floyd. We'll see.
Okay.
Eddie Jack gonna pick him off a couple of times. I got the Bears right now.
I don't know. Not sold on any of these teams.
Not
I
yet?
think the NFC is
Hold
still
on.
wide open. Wide
First
open.
of all, whoa, wait a minute.
is.
What you mean you're not sold on any team? You got your team giving pep talks. Talk about how chippy they are. They've lost 3. Hold on. They've lost how many games of the last 6? Like 4 or 5?
4 of the last 6?
4 of the last 6, and you were talking about 8. You're not sold. Who sold on the Cowboys?
Okay, this is why it's so agonizing to me, because my team's still really good. You said yesterday, this team is loaded. That's the word you used.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are loaded. What if they just suddenly, inexplicably detonate?
Loaded gun ain't
Take
dangerous.
off, yeah?
Loaded gun ain't dangerous. You got to have somebody do something with it, all right?
Okay.
So y'all can't do nothing with it. Your guys can't do anything with that loaded team.
They've lost 6 of 9.
What?
Excuse me, I had those numbers.
6 or 9?
Because they went 3-0, and now they're
Just wanna
6 and
make
6.
sure that you had those
Whoa. How is
Correct.
that possible? With how I want to know, how is a loaded team with Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, the best offensive line in football, how they lose 6 of the next 9?
Lost their winning edge.
They have
Lost
no winning
their way.
First of all,
By the way, this team down the stretch a year ago went 8-2.
guess what they're not going to do this year? Go 8-2.
Well, all they got to do is lose the next 2 and then beat Philadelphia.
The
And
weirdest
you are going
situation. You know, you were talking about trash cans yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you see the NFL meme? I think they took it from you. There was a meme of 2 trash cans competing.
Your team.
The top.
you do that?
No, your team.
It might have been you. Viral. It was
No,
all
you know
over
what?
social media.
I will take the better trash can.
No.
I'll take it.
They would
Right
nip it
now?
up.
Yeah.
No, they would nip
You
it
got the
up.
win.
They would nip
Take
it
the
up.
better trash can, because the better trash can gets a home playoff game. Here we go.
Nope.
Yep.
Nip it up.
That's your situation
Bring
right
those
now.
49ers on. I don't know. Maybe it'll be Russell. Bring him right back to Jerry World. Let's do it. Do it again.
But we got
Yep.
a lot of more games.
One
before
had
we see
soiled
that.
diapers and the other had rotten fish heads. in it.
A lot more action before we see
So I don't
that
know
one
which
happen.
trash can you want to be, but that's what's in
I
the
don't
trash
care.
can.
You tell me which one we are, because we're going to have a home playoff game.
Skip, you're not going to the playoffs.
Yeah,
Stop
we're
saying
not.
that.
Well, we're going. All we got to do is go to Philadelphia and win. That's
Okay.
no big deal.
We
Okay.
just get Kirk.
How about you go to-
Cousins a
how about
game
you go to
and
Chicago
Monday
and
night?
win?
This is devastating.
Don't need to.
No mercy. No mercy.
There's been speculation of a potential reunion between Antonio Brown and the Patriots. Well, that rumor, it persists. From rumors of New England players and coaches wanting AB back to Brown's recent apology to owner Robert Kraft. But then on Monday, he reposted another user's Instagram story to his own story, which contained direct shots at Kraft's legal mess, as well as Kraft's true desire to win. The comment also said, Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels have nothing to work with. Swallow your pride, Robert Kraft. The post has since been removed from AB's social media.
Oh, okay.
So, Shannon, your reaction?
I'm not surprised, Skip. This is who he is. This is Antonio Brown. He says something. Somebody gets in his ear. He apologizes. He removes it. He does not get his way. What does he do? He lashes out again. It's a continuous circle. This is who he is. And at some point in time, Skip, look, I don't need somebody to hit me in the face with a skunk for me to realize that a skunk smell. I don't need someone to keep telling me Antonio Brown has changed. This is Antonio Brown. How many times are we going to see this? Listen, I don't know Mr. Kraft like I know some of the owners that I played with. Knew Art Modell very well because I played with him. Knew Mr. B, rest of their soul, Mr. B. I played 12 years under him. So I know those owners very well. Had a little casual conversation from time to time. Every time I see him, me and Mr. Kraft, have a great conversation. Skip, there's no way. Tom Brady could go in Mr. Kraft's office and say, Daddy, you know, I've never let you down before. Mr. Kraft say, Tom, get up and get out of my office. That's not happening. Now, he did this before, Skip. Remember the first, when I think it was that Sunday, he put something up about Mr. Kraft and what transpired in Florida.
He did.
He erased that. And he does the very same thing again and erases it again.
Yep.
And keep people like, well, bruh, why won't you just sit down? Let it play out. Even if they did sign him, the NFL has made it abundantly clear. Sign him at your own peril. He's going on the commissioner's exempt list. You're going to pay him, but he's not playing until we get this situation resolved. This situation is not getting resolved. What day is the Super Bowl on?
The 2nd?
Okay,
right?
it's not getting resolved until at least the 4th or the 5th. That's at the bare minimum. They got to even have a conversation with Antonio Brown. I can assure you, they're not even thinking about Antonio Brown. They don't even know anybody named Antonio or Brown in the league office. This is where they are. But Skip Bayless, he can't help himself. This is why I've said he needs to go talk to someone. He needs someone around him. Say, hey, B, bro, you're making it worse for yourself. You're making it more difficult than it needs to be. Why won't you just sit down, let it take its course, and then we'll see what happens when it happens. But I don't know who he thinks he's helping. He think that's helping his cause, Skip, that he put this up there?
I don't know.
Man, this dude he lost all his mind. But I'm not surprised. I told people from day one, they said I was a hater. I said this when it happened the first time, Skip. What I tell you, I said, be done with him. He's not going to change. Skip. See, people think money is not a cure. Money is a deodorant that there's a stink that you might have if you're impoverished. And when you have money, you can mask it. See, money doesn't change you. It makes you more what you already are. Skip, if you got a drinking problem, you have no money, what happens when you get money? You become an alcoholic. If you're druggy, you become even worse. If you are a jerk, before you got money, you become the biggest you know what they can possibly be.
That's true.
And that's what that man is. He thinks money can do all things. All it does is just, it reveals us. That's all money does. It just says, hey, take a look at me. This is who I am. In my finest, in my purest. This is me. I may be.
So to me, to echo everything you just said, the sound you just heard was Antonio Brown hitting bottom.
I thought he was already there.
This was the bottom to me. To repost a fan's post ripping Robert Kraft on and off the field, on the field that he doesn't any longer want to win. That's just wrong. What? Of all the people you could call out for not wanting to win, that's not one of them.
No.
And he might take this even more personally than the off-the-field shot that the fan took that Antonio reposted.
Correct.
So did Antonio really think in his heart of hearts that reposting the fans' shot at Robert Kraft would somehow move Robert Kraft to go to Roger Goodell and say, you've got to reinstate this man because we want to re-sign him right here, right now? Would this motivate Robert Kraft to do that? Did he think it would shame Robert Kraft into doing that? Seriously, do you think you're more powerful than Robert Kraft so that if you repost the fan shot, that it will somehow shame him into saying, you got me, Antonio. I got to get you back. I got to do this. The bridge was already on fire with Robert Kraft.
Yes!
And remember, Antonio, was it 2 weeks ago, tried to apologize. It was sort of a backhanded, backdoor apology to Robert Kraft.
Yes.
Now you have poured a full tanker of gasoline on top of the bridge that's already on fire. You have just burned the bridge to the ground, thereby eliminating, I think, any chance of you getting re-signed anytime soon by the New England Patriots. And then back to your point, he still can't get it through his head, Antonio, that he is so far from getting reinstated, period.
Yes.
So far. There's the list that we don't have time to read the list of legal issues that Antonio still has hanging over his head.
Right.
Roger Goodell does not love any of this.
No.
Roger Goodell is going to protect the shield, and when he does get reinstated, he will get suspended for X games.
Yes.
I don't know how long.
Right.
Maybe they're sort of counting this year as part of the suspension somehow.
Skip, I had a homeboy. He was going to get suspended because he did something in school, and they were going to suspend him 2 weeks. But guess what he said? He said, well, I'm going to quit. I was like, bruh, you do know if you quit school, the suspension doesn't start until you start to come to school. It's not like you can just say, I'm not going to. No, bro, it doesn't work like that. So Antonio Brown thinks, well, because I'm out of the league right now, this is my suspension. No, bro, you're not on the team. You have to be on a team in order for you to be suspended.
And why is he no longer on the Patriots? Because he dared to group text a woman who was his second accuser, right?
Right.
And it became public because she obviously made it public.
Right.
And it forced Robert Kraft to say, okay, I'm out.
Right.
I can't.
AB, just leave well enough alone.
Yeah.
Let it run its course, and then you can be clear, you can be exonerated, and then we can move forward. But for you to continue this, you apologize. Skip, he said, I'm sorry. You know, I just want to win, and sometimes my emotions get the best of me. Okay. Okay. If you want to believe him, you believe him. Then he didn't get his way. Well, I'll take it back. I'm not sorry. Here, bloop, retweet.
Yeah. Okay.
You see what happens, Skip?
Yeah.
That he apologized. How can I say I'm sorry? Okay, Shannon, I accept your apology. And then when I don't get my way, I meant everything I said the first time I said it. Because that's basically what he said.
That is true. So this is the height of delusional. It's the height of wrong-headed, and it's another self-inflicted wound of self-destruction. That's what you're doing. You're just self-destructing right before our very eyes. And yet he's forced to sit on his couch on Sunday night and watch that team that he grew to love over the, whatever it was, couple of weeks he was there,
Right.
3 weeks. And it's glaring they don't have Antonio.
Right.
So this somehow empowers Antonio to think he's above the league. Well, you said from the start, Antonio, the first thing you're going to get hit between the eyes with is this league is going to go on just fine without you.
It has.
You are not the world.
No.
You are not the league.
He somehow he came to this because of what transpired in Pittsburgh and how they let him
Yep.
let him have his way until they no longer wanted his stomach.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, they can tolerate you until they can replace you. And once they saw Juju, like, well, hold on. Juju had more yards than you. Juju had more catches than you.
Yep.
You're replaceable. That's Mike Tomlin's quote. We'll tolerate you until we can replace you.
Yep.
Okay, once they found they could replace him, his thing was, I'm going to play on my rules. If you want AB, you got to play by AB rules. You got a team? Now, if you got $4-5 billion, you can go buy you a team and you can act however you want to. But as long as you got to deal with the NFL, you're going to fall up under that umbrella. And if you don't want to fall up under that umbrella, you're going to step outside and you're going to get rained on. So guess what? It's raining on him right now, Skip.
It's raining. And I didn't see any tweets from Antonio during the Cleveland at Pittsburgh game on Sunday when, without Juju, Pittsburgh beat its division rival Cleveland. So they even did it with no AB and no Juju. Okay.
And no James Conner.
No James Conner. How did they do that? Well, you can figure out new ways to pull it off, right?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Man, look here. Skip, the guy was having a Hall of Fame career. What reporter, what analyst, what journalist is going to vote, say, yeah, I'm going to put their name behind this?
He is doing big Hall of Fame damage right now.
Big.
Yep.
That is hard.
I mean, Skip, they kept T.O. out because they said what transpired on. I mean, T.O.'s a saint compared to this guy. For me, I didn't think T.O., but now they said, Skip, they can take it to the sidelines, they can take it to the locker room, they can take it off the field. Man, this dude gonna be 100 before they vote him in.
Yep, I would agree. You know what? I'll give you that. And I was a big critic of Terrell being finally inducted after he took 3 tries.
3 years, yeah.
Sure.
But I will give you, he comes off as a saint compared to this guy.
Yes.
Because Terrell's issues were all inside the locker room,
Right.
sort of inside the huddle. That's why I called him team obliterator, but it was all confined to that.
Right.
Disrupting the football team behind closed doors, in the huddle, wherever else,
Right.
on the sideline.
Skip, I could have played with T.O. I could have played with T.O. This dude right here,
Yeah,
we'd
that's
had
a
problem.
Yeah.
We'd had problem.
So what he doesn't understand, that the social media that he thinks is making him is actually breaking him.
Yes.
Because he just lives for social media. He is a prisoner of social media. He is addicted to it.
Yep.
And he can't stop it.
Can't.
And it's devouring him.
You right, AB. You right. You tell him.
Yeah.
Time to hand it over
Okay.
to someone else because it's destructive. I think what he was trying to do was show that the fans want him back. Through this post, he was like, see, everyone's still talking about me. They want me back. But he wasn't realizing that because the language was so vulgar towards Mr. Kraft, it reflects so poorly on him.
And seriously, you can't let somebody else say Robert Kraft doesn't want to win. Oh, you trust me, he will take that deeply
Skip, the
personally.
man wanted to win so much, they flew 2 planes to Houston because some of the players were sick. And they didn't want to contaminate the whole plane, so they flew 2 planes.
That's an expensive safety
And that man don't want to
for
win.
your health. I think he wants to win.
Oh, my God, this dude here,
No,
he just, I just wish he would get with someone could just talk to AB, and it's like, AB, you just don't get it, bruh. You just don't get it. And
He's going to keep not getting it until he's completely out of football.
Yeah, and then what? It's going to be everybody else's fault. But see, Skip, the problem that a lot of people have on social media, they try to appease a base that will have no impact on whether you get employed or not.
That is a fact.
Mr. You're trying to get retweets and likes. Bruh, Mr. Kraft, the NFL, you need to be on your best behavior. Say, I've learned my lesson. Show contrition. Okay, do it your way, bruh.
Yep. Good
I
luck.
don't know anything. Just do it your way. Keep doing it your way.
No mercy.
LeBron James is accepting of criticism, according to his Lakers teammate Danny Green, who also played with LeBron in Cleveland in 2009. When asked to compare LeBron between then and now, Green said, LeBron has matured over the years, and he added, the most surprising thing to me at this point in his career is he's a guy that's accepting of criticism to learn and will actually listen to his teammates to let them push him. You don't see guys who are superstars or even guys that are the greatest player to ever play or the greatest of his era willing to openly be accepting of criticism, actually listening to his teammates, not just giving orders, but taking orders. He'll take ownership when he does mess up. In a film session, he'll listen. Shannon, you buying this?
Buying it. As a matter of fact, let me get my black card. I want to purchase some more of it.
Yeah.
Our unlimited supply, I'm buying it.
You got a black.
You show us, please. Bring that out. Thank you.
Skip, of course I'm buying it. And look, because sometimes it's hard, how do you approach a great player and says, you messed up on that play if you're not on equal footing? But I think for me, I think great players want to be coached. Tom Brady wants to be coached. Peyton Manning wanted to be coached. But you better know what the hell you're talking about, Skip, when you coach them, okay? And if they ask you something, you need answers. Let me get back to you. They need answers on the spot. For me, Skip, my coach, Brian Perriani, who coached me the longest, so I'll just take him, and Les Steckel, who's my first coach, 93 to 94. Those, I would look at them and say, they probably critique and coach me the hardest. And there were games that statistically, Skip, I had some of my better games as far as catching the football. But the blocking would lack sometimes because once you get into a groove of catching, hell to hell with everything else, Skip, I'm trying to get out in this pass route and make something happen. And I remember, and I was like, come on, Les Steckel. I was like, Les, come on, bro. I mean, he's like, sweetheart, that's what he called me, sweetheart, we need better in the run game. I mean, you had a heck of a job. You did a heck of a job catching the ball, route running, your depth is on point, yada, yada, yada. But he would coach me. He critiqued me. Brian Perriani, I'm like, dude, there are a couple of times I wanted to go to Mike and say, Mike, this dude done lost his mind. Because we're basically the same age, Skip. I think he's like a year two older than me. And he's coaching me. I'm like, bro, this is ridiculous. Bro, you talking about I'm hard on Dak. He was twice as hard on me than I am on Dak. So that just goes to show you. I wanted to fight him sometimes, Skip, because it was unnecessary.
Twice as hard. You give him an F every time
he was
F?
Well, whatever was worse.
How can you be twice as hard as an F?
Well, he was giving me Skip. I'm looking at my paper and I got 13 catches for $150, 63 tubs. How am I getting a C? And we win.
Why don't you give Dak a Z, right?
That's what I thought he was giving me sometimes. But Skip, look, the difference is this roster is made up of veterans. Danny Green is battle-tested. Won a championship with the Spurs, played with Tim Duncan, Parker, Manu. Won a championship in Toronto, played with Kawhi. Anthony Davis is a superstar in and of himself. So a lot of these guys have been there, done that. And so they've earned the right to say, Rondo. So you look at the guys, JaVale, you look at the guys, Skip, these are veteran guys that said, hey bro, what was that? Skip, I'm not saying, bro, that was you terrible. They do it in a facetious manner. Bro, what was that? Was that 23? I know 23 ain't just dribble that ball off his foot. I know 23 ain't miss his assignment on that defensive cover. So Skip, is some of that way is being facetious with it. But the great players will be accepting of criticism and they understand it, they take it in. what happened tonight? What happened to them old Pepsi Center tonight?
I think you've talked enough on this one. Let's get to the guts of this. Let's get to the truth of this.
What is the truth?
Let's hear it.
I was dumbfounded by these Danny Green quotes on so many levels.
Why?
Because I remind you, the Danny Green I know, and I do know Danny Green, he's like the nicest guy on earth. He never says anything remotely critical of anybody, which is why Toronto insisted that he be thrown into the Kawhi trade from San Antonio to Toronto, because it was the only guy who sort of would support Kawhi or could talk to Kawhi, because everybody loves Danny Green.
Yeah.
He's never said a harsh word or a negative word about anybody until these. And between the lines, these are some really harsh, strong criticism quotes, because he's saying that in film sessions, they can call out LeBron and that he will take ownership.
Yes.
And the most shocking quotes of all, these are the opposite of Danny Green, PR man for Kawhi quotes. He said, if we say in a film session to LeBron, we need you to be more aggressive, he'll listen. And we need you to pass the ball more, he will listen. He will? Baloney,
Yes,
he will.
he will.
He will not. Are you kidding? He should not.
Yes, he should.
Danny Green can't carry his what.
That got nothing to do with it.
But you can't do that. I don't believe one word of this, and I can't believe Danny Green said this publicly.
Let me ask you-
He just said, yes, in film sessions, we call him out and say, we need you to be more aggressive?
Yes.
What?
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe
Good Lord.
Do you believe Josh McDaniels can carry Tom Brady's job?
Well, that's different. He's the offensive coordinator.
But the fact of the matter is, you can coach him. You can say, Tom, where are you going here with the ball?
No, I mean, moreover,
Yeah.
Bill Belichick calls out Tom Brady in film sessions
Right.
all the time, because they kind of made a deal from his first year starting on, 2001. Hey, this is just how I operate. I call out everybody.
Yeah.
And so I need you to let me call you out, so it sends a message to everybody. You can all be called out.
So
but this is LeBron James.
so that now, if we hold top dog accountable, everybody else will fall in place. So it ain't no problem. AD, bruh, I need you to be more aggressive. AD.
Okay, but he's not saying that Frank Vogel can call him out or Jason Kidd can call him out. He's saying the teammates call him out in film session. He says, yeah, I missed my box out. Really? Yeah. Okay, maybe that's a little thing like a box out, but to go to, we need you to pass the ball more. And by the way, little known fact, little stat that you might have missed maybe. I don't know, and you do a lot of research, you and Steve Owens, but here's the one that caught my eye. In the fourth quarter so far in this NBA season, LeBron has taken the most shots of anybody he's tied for first. But the point was he has taken more shots than anybody else. He's tied for first.
Right.
And by the way, he's second in fourth quarter turnovers. So is it possible that Danny's saying in fourth quarters, we're saying, LeBron, we need you to pass the ball?
Well, maybe it's because he's trying to be too aggressive. And sometimes, Skip, look, you're going to have turnovers because, he's going to make the pass where he's going to bounce the ball between the guy's leg. He's going to make, remember he went behind his back and between the guy's leg. So he's going to get some turnovers. But the guy that critiqued me the most and offered the most feedback to me was my quarterback. John was the one
but that's different dynamic.
How?
Which is different because LeBron's the quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's the one who could criticize. He called that whole team over. We saw the cell video of it at the end of the first half the other night, or the other afternoon.
Right.
When you went.
Yeah.
He called the whole team over and he just reamed them all out.
Right.
Yeah.
We're giving up, layups.
Right.
He tried.
Okay? And it didn't work. That
I
fell on deaf ears.
Skip, the thing is, you don't be disrespectful, but I was like 7 on that play right there. I flattened it off. You see the safety was over the top. He just knocked it down, so I flattened it out like an out route. He's like, you're right, T.
Okay. So
that's what I'm saying.
Okay. But you've told me from the start, John Elway would not criticize me.
No, he would not criticize me publicly.
Okay.
That he would pull me to.
These quotes just went and all that. This was in USA Today.
Yeah, but I'm saying yes, but they don't hear what's being said or how it's being said. Skip, the thing is, correct somebody. Hey, Brian, you forgot that box out. Skip, remember opening day when Pat Beverly got that rebound? LeBron was on the block. Pat Beverly right to him. He didn't box P. Bev out. Bev got the rebound. That's the situation. Bro, you think now, Pat Bev can't get that rebound.
So you really believe that Laker teammates in a film session can turn to LeBron and say, hey, we need you to be more aggressive.
Yeah.
LeBron, we need you to pass more in the fourth quarter. You think so? Baloney.
Yes.
Baloney. I'm calling you out, and I'm calling
I
this
believe
out.
it.
There is no way
Skip,
he would put up with that.
Yes, he would.
And you know what? He shouldn't put up with
Humble.
that.
That's a humble king.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it. You know
Humble.
and I know there's
He's
no
very
way.
humble. That's
He
the
is
thing that I left.
drama king.
Stop it.
Yeah, he would not put up with this for one
That's the
second.
thing that, Skip.
1 second.
Very coachable. Very humble. Unlike most superstars.
I don't think very humble are the words that come to
He's got
mind
the
with
hugest
LeBron.
ego in the history of egos.
Oh, I know you're not talking. No.
I love the guy, but humble?
Yeah, humble. Very humble.
on.
Yeah.
Stop
Feels like a
it.
stretch.
Now you're backed into a corner. Now you're just flailing.
Skip.
Come on.
Hold on. Why does it look? See, you basing everything on Jordan and on Kobe. Oh, they wouldn't dare have somebody. See, that's what you're basing it on. He's unlike any superstar that we've seen before, Skip.
Think about what this is. Danny Green is saying somebody would turn to LeBron James in a group. How many players are on the team?
Well, Skip, hold on.
Okay.
First of all,
Group.
I'm sure it's not Quinn Cook.
Okay.
I'm sure it's not Troy Daniel or Alex
Okay, well,
Caruso.
who else is it?
Alex
Who
Caruso,
else can it
Paul
be?
Davis.
AD.
I think it.
I like
might-
the idea of that.
AD.
What has AD?
Danny Green.
What has AD ever done to deserve to call out LeBron James?
Skip, he's Skip right now.
Nothing.
They run it.
Nothing.
Skip.
He's got nothing to show.
Skip, they run the offense.
He
through
doesn't
AD.
even know what it feels like to win a playoff series.
Yeah, he does. He beat
won
Portland
one.
swept
I know,
him.
he beat one.
But ain't no
come
shame.
on.
Hey, Skip, ain't no shame
He
in
played
losing
in
to
the
Golden
conference
State.
finals?
It ain't no shame in losing
Yeah.
to Golden State.
Yeah.
Who beat Golden State when they were Golden State?
LeBron James went to 8 straight finals.
Yeah.
No, there's no way
that's how
he's
you
going to call him
and that-
out.
Skip, and see,
Stop it. He's in
Skip,
his 17th year.
Skip,
Stop it.
Skip, and that's how you win teammates over.
Oh, come on.
You
It
don't
is
put
not.
yourself in front of the team.
Oh,
you
come
one of the guys. Yes, I'm the guy, but I'm one of you.
He
I'm
is
wrong.
not one of those
Am
guys.
I wrong?
Oh,
I'm shooting too much.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pull back. I need to get off the rock. I do that.
I need to pass more. You guys are right. I need to pass
Yeah.
more. LeBron James would throw a fit
No, he
if
didn't.
somebody ever said that.
No,
to him.
he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't.
Remember,
Not
he's in
LeBron,
this-
I know.
You've got the whole coaching staff in there. You've got maybe, 15 different players in there?
Yeah.
Some guys who don't even dress, but it's a big group of players
Yeah.
in a big film session.
Yeah.
And you're going to call him out and say, LeBron, we need you to be more aggressive.
Yeah, Bill, yeah, LeBron.
That's a
Yeah.
real shot right there.
Yeah. LeBron, we need you to be more aggressive. We need you to go get that dog.
Oh.
And LeBron said, okay, that's when he put that head down and won.
Huh.
But they ain't gonna give him no
People
call.
are making the case that he's the MVP so far.
They should be.
Oh, stop
17-3.
Good
He should
Lord,
be.
have mercy.
We're in the discussion.
He leads fourth quarter shooters and shots taken. Way to go.
And probably shots made too.
How
Well,
happy
maybe
does
if
that
you take-
17-3 make you, though?
Look, made me feel good. It made me 5 cases good, though, to
Yep,
Skip.
it does. So we're down from 43 to 38 cases you own.
What you want on the next 20 games?
Okay.
What you want on the next 20?
The race continues.
And all of a sudden, I'm back in business on the 5 to win the NFC East. So I could get them right back.
Should we talk about
You ain't
this?
gonna get it back.
We got to bet on that, right?
Yep.
I feel like we
Oh, yeah.
do. Are you
Yeah.
feeling okay
I
about
feel
it?
real good. I feel
Okay.
real good.
I
Not
don't
as good as I
know.
would have felt Sunday had the Eagles won the game, but I'm still feeling confident.
No mercy.
Coming off their Thanksgiving loss to the Bills, Cowboys practice reportedly got chippy as they look towards Thursday's battle against the Bears. After losing 6 of their past 9 games in 2 and 5 days, Dak Prescott told his team that, quote, talk is cheap. And on Sunday, Philly threw away what looked like an easy win in Miami, blowing a chance to draw even with the Cowboys atop the NFC East. But now they're 5-7 and remain in second place. We're now joined by Super Bowl champ and Fox Sports college football analyst
Morning.
Reggie Bush.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So Reggie, who wins the NFC East?
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
How about nobody?
Yeah, right. Can I say nobody?
Oh.
Is that in there? Yeah, this is a tough one because when I look at the Cowboys, most talented team on paper, but you cough up a game at home on Thanksgiving to the Buffalo Bills,
Yep.
a game that they should have won. And then I liked what you said, Skip, on Friday, because I really also believe that Philly would win out because they have the easiest remaining schedule. But, man, that defense looked really bad, especially the secondary.
Ooh, they looked pathetic.
Terrible. There were a couple plays where I saw in that game where guys are in position to make a play on the football. I mean, literally staring at Carson Wentz, and Goddard gets behind him, or another receiver gets behind him and catches a touchdown. And so it just, either way, I don't feel good. Eagles 0-7 when trailing in the fourth quarter, and the Cowboys, They haven't beat a winning team all season long.
Not.
But something tells me that the Dallas Cowboys will still find a way to win out and get to the playoffs because they still have, again, they still got the most talented team on roster. They can always turn around and hand it to Zeke 25,
They won't want to do
30
that,
times.
though. They should do that, but they want to throw it back.
Why they not
Like
doing
they
that?
did against Minnesota late. And it's great.
Like your guy did.
Lost
Not
the
happy
game
about
doing
it.
that.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Turn around and hand it to Zeke.
You know what, Skip?
Hand it to Zeke for 0. Hand it to Zeke for 1. Or hand it to him for 2.
But let me ask you
It's quite a
but let me ask you a question. But when Dak has 3 straight incompletions, do y'all stop throwing the ball?
I can't remember him having 3
Yeah, I
straight
can.
completions.
I can. You saw that QBR he had the other day? But that's neither here nor there.
Leads the whole league in passing yards. I don't know.
See?
Go ahead.
See? You see what you're doing there? You try to.
I'm not doing anything.
No, you don't got QBR to hang on anymore, huh?
He's 3rd.
Yeah, he got QBR.
Well, 3rd's pretty good.
That ain't pretty good.
Okay.
First is
He
good.
led the league most of the year.
Eagles. The thing, and I'm just hanging on to the Eagles because I just believe the Cowboys would do
No,
Cowboys
because you
things.
bet your
That's-
pride
that's-
in 5
listen,
cases. That's all.
You can go either way with this question and still be wrong.
Excuse me. Cowboys are going to do Cowboys thing. I just need. Can I get the offense and the defense to show up at the same day? Because one day the offense will show up, skipping the defense like we on vacation.
Which team are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Eagles. Because the Eagles.
I thought you were talking about the Cowboys.
No. The Eagles skip. They give up 100 points to Minnesota. They lose at home to Detroit.
They did.
And I'm like, come on, man, y'all better than this.
Yeah.
And then
That's what Michael Bennett yelled at the Cowboys after the Buffalo game.
Well-
They're better than this.
well, I need somebody from the Eagles locker room to yell that to say we're better than this. And it's like Wentz can play better. He just needs to be more consistent. And hopefully, Alshon will be back. I don't even know Aguilar. I don't know. You saw him out there on the Hail Mary. They put him out there so to knock it down so he can knock it in Alshon's hand. That's why he was going to, because they know he wasn't going to jump up and catch it.
He is not going to criticize the USC guys, so just let
Oh,
him.
Aguilar was there? Oh, my bad, Rick. I'm sorry, Rick.
USC.
Rick, with them
Not gonna say
hands.
anything.
That you got brick hands. The Cowboys, Skip, look. Why you over there bumping your guns and you laughing? The Cowboys have been just as inconsistent as the Eagles,
Very
okay?
inconsistent.
They just happen to have.
He's not saying anything.
They got off to the better start. They started 3-0, and I thought, I think the Eagles started off 1-2, and then they had to go to Green Bay and win. They got to 2-2.
Thanks to Brett Favre.
No, Brett Favre was
He
retired.
turned into
long time
Brett
ago.
Favre. That's what I'm saying. Aaron Rodgers turned into Brett Favre.
But I'm still believe that they'll win out. The Cowboys are going to lose 2 of these games. They're not beating the Bears, the Rams, the Eagles.
Chicago.
That's not going to happen, Skip. They're losing 2. We're going to win out. And you're going to come in here and you're going to be all upset at me and you're going to cut me off. You're not going to let me talk. You're going to say it's my turn. You're going to say I'm boring. You're going to say all that, and I ain't going to even care.
You're going to take the ball and throw it over the fence. Yeah. You're going to be all pouty and say, okay, I won't talk the rest of the show.
This
So
is
you
how it
know.
works. This is the question I got with the Cowboys, though. Has Jason Garrett lost the locker room? Because
Did
ever
Jason
have it?
Garrett ever have the locker room? Might be a better question.
I don't know, but
I think the locker room just tunes them out.
Yeah.
It's just like noise in their ears. It's like buzz. Like a buzz in their ear.
Yeah. I wonder because when I was in Miami, Coach Sperano, rest in peace, lost the locker room. He got fired. Same thing happened in Detroit with Jim Schwartz our first year, and we had a good football team
did.
too with Calvin Johnson, Stafford. We were throwing the ball well, but we couldn't hold
You
on
and
to it.
Joik were like, you set a record.
Yeah, we set records, and then we were turning the football over too much, though. And so I just wonder, has Jason Garrett lost his locker room? Because I'm hearing reports of guys shouting and pointing fingers. And once that's happened, Sharpe, once
It's
you
over.
lose that locker room, there is nothing you can do.
And that only happens in a locker room where the coach has no control now.
Could be right. So, the scariest words that I ever hear about this football team came out of your mouth to start this discussion. You said, this is the most talented team. Every time I hear that, I just cringe because it just doesn't play to
like
its
it.
talent.
Don't.
I got it.
Oh.
I got it. I look at on paper and I'm like, ooh, wow, I got him. I got him.
got a lot of great players.
This should work. This should work. I saw this team get hot, catch fire late last year or last 10 games, go 8-2. They couldn't stop making plays. Every time I turn around, they made another play that worked out. What's the one you like to talk about against the The Eagles.
Yeah.
At Jerry World, where Amari looked like the ball was intercepted,
Yeah.
popped up in the air, and he snatched it,
Yep.
took it in the end zone.
Yep, overtime last year.
Okay, that's what happens when you're hot.
Yep.
And this team is not hot, and it never got hot the whole year. So it's 6-6, and to your point, it hadn't beaten one decent team because it hadn't beat one team with a winning record, except for quote unquote Philadelphia, which is not a decent team. So Philly has made possible Dallas. And Philly made possible Dallas because Dallas beat Philadelphia back on October 20th at Jerry World. And the Cowboys, completely uncharacteristically early in that game, did two things they don't do the rest of the year. They forced 2 turnovers. They don't force turnovers. They're at the bottom of the barrel in forcing turnovers. They're dead last in intercepting passes. They've intercepted 4 all year. But that night at Jerry World, national TV, right out of the box, Wentz throws to Dallas Goedert, appropriately named Dallas at Dallas, and he gets dislodged from the football by Jalen Smith, and here we go.
Yep.
And we took it right in and cashed it.
7-0.
And then here we go, and Carson Wentz, they get the kickoff, and they're back at their 20-yard line, and he drops back, and DeMarcus Lawrence did something that actually looked like he was a $100 million player.
Yeah.
He strip-sacked him, and it took 14 yards for them to score and go up 14-0, and that was pretty much the end of that ball game. I don't see that defense do that the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So how can I trust it? So once again, Vegas says, you're a 3-point favorite going to the Bears Thursday night. Fox, be there, watch it, because
They've been favored in a lot of games.
Yeah, well, they've been favored in every game except for one at New England.
Hey, guess what?
Okay, I'll be watching this game with one eye closed because I don't trust them.
Maybe you could do that.
Yeah, maybe
trying
that
everything.
might unjinx them.
It ain't gonna matter.
You know what? I'm going to try that. That's my new deal. I'm going to watch like this.
Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Well,
Playing
he'll
in
be all over
Chicago.
that.
I know.
Watch. Just watch.
I'm counting on it.
Okay. Well, you know he will be. So, but here's, pardon my language, this is the damnedest dynamic I have ever encountered in my history of covering pro football. The damnedest dynamic is Dallas can go lose to the Bears and can come home and lose to the Rams, and it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because all they have to do,
Philly.
they have to go to Philly and win, and then they would have to come back home and beat the Redskins, and they would win the NFC East, and they would get a home playoff game. Thank you very much. And I think they're going to do that because the one game I do trust them in is at Philly. I just think they love to play against the Eagles. They kind of got the Eagles' number. I think they got Carson Wentz's number.
I think you could be right about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Carson Wentz going to show you don't have my number. He's going to say, I changed my number. The number that you had is no longer in service.
Yeah.
And I'm about to throw for 3 bills and 3 touchdowns and get up out of here with this dub.
He's going to change from number 11 to number 13.
Nah.
He's unlucky against
You're going to
Dallas.
find out. You're about to find out. He's going to show you why I'm the best quarterback of that draft.
Well, you know he's not.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's what he's going to say.
Dak has proven once and for all he is the best quarterback in this division, and that will prevail in the end.
No, it won't.
So, again, Dallas is a product of Philadelphia, and they're going to win the division because Philly is even worse than they are. That's the bottom line to this division.
You're going to be sad.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
Yeah, you're going to be sad.
I can't be any sadder than I have been for 6 and 6.
What?
I'm worn out watching this team.
Wait until Friday.
Yeah.
Wait till Friday.
I don't care about Thursday night.
said
I
you're
don't
done.
care. I swear, I don't care. They'll probably lose.
They're going to. Ain't no problem.
It's hard to go in Chicago
Right?
in December and
You got
win
that
football
right. You
games.
know that.
Oh, my God.
But Dallas
it's
is
hard.
practicing outside.
Yeah,
but
that
there's
was
something
good.
a bit different about
Yeah, a
60
little bit
degrees
different.
outside.
It's a
and
little
10
different.
degrees outside. That water coming off Lake Michigan.
Dak's wearing that glove on his right hand in 60-degree weather. So.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
At least
Oh,
he
okay.
learned that
Oh, he learned the leather,
better
huh?
wearing that glove in those conditions. It's a good sign.
Still only threw for 200 yards.
Shannon, your team spit the bit at Miami.
We'll gain it back.
We
that was
gave
crazy.
you an early Christmas present on Thanksgiving, and you took it right down to Miami and dropped it right in the ocean.
Watch what we do.
Way to go.
Last 4 games.
Yeah.
4-0.
Well,
Division champ.
You should win 3 of them.
We're going to win 4 of them.
Got
What part of
two Giants and Redskins. Way to go.
Y'all played them.
Yeah. You had, past tense, the easiest schedule to close in the NFL. Easiest to close. At Miami.
2 times.
Hold on. What did Miami do to the Patriots last year?
That was last year.
I got it.
Yeah.
That was Tom Brady. They did that to Tom Brady.
You maintain such a positive approach to
You
the
know,
Eagles. I'm really surprised.
My team can't lose for winning because they try to lose, but they keep winning thanks to your team.
But
Right.
see, Skip, winning is a habit, so is losing. And your team
It
has
is.
it.
Yeah. And to your point, let's do say hypothetically they lose to Bears and lose to Rams. Well, then they would have lost 5 of 6. They would be 6-8 going to Philadelphia. And how much confidence would they have? I don't know. It's just something about the Eagles. Flip the switch.
I think Jared Goff and Todd Gurley got one of them performances like they had for the Cardinals.
Well,
I think I could really see that happening.
Yeah.
Well, to your point, the Bears have won 3 of their last 4, and it looked like the Rams flipped the switch.
Yeah.
Right.
They said, here we go. We're back to being
Aaron
Rams.
Donald.
Yeah. Ooh. I can't find him most games.
Oh, don't worry about you. I tell you what. Turn your TV on to channel 11 a week.
On
in 2 weeks.
Thursday night?
Yeah, in 2 weeks. No, they play on a Sunday.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks.
I think it's Sunday night.
Yeah. In 2 weeks.
That's right, on Sunday.
Turn your TV.
10 days,
You'll be able to find it. Aaron, you hear that? Oh, he watched the show.
Really?
Skip Bayless said he can't find you.
2 of the best pass rushers 2 weeks in a row.
I saw him against little tiny Kyler Murray. Just
Smash him down.
ragdolled him.
Smash him down. Yeah, get out of here.
That's a tough one.
That was a big sack.
You know, you
That
little
was
kid.
impressive.
You know, you little kid.
Yeah.
Your parents say, "Boy, get off there." That's how you smash Kyler. Get down.
Yeah.
Him down.
Can't do anything.
It was
about
impressive.
That.
Boy, that's what
No,
I said.
no, no.
That's the best
can't-
defensive
no,
player.
You say you never seen anybody hit fast like little feet. He couldn't get away from old Aaron Donald.
He's got a pulled hamstring.
They
He
pulled-
does have a pulled
They
hamstring.
pulled more than his hamstring.
No mercy.
The College Football Playoff Selection Committee will release their latest rankings today. After Alabama's loss to Auburn, Utah and Oklahoma are expected to move up. They both posted convincing wins Saturday, and each will have another opportunity to impress in their conference championship games. And assuming all the favorites win, we'll get LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, and then either we've got a 1-loss Utah or a 1-loss Oklahoma as the 4th seed. Reggie, in your opinion, who is most deserving of that spot?
Well, I think Oklahoma's going to have a stronger case because the Pac-12 is down right now. It's a down year. I thought Oregon had the best chance of between Utah and Oregon to win the Pac-12 and then to go on and to play in the playoffs. But I think the loss to Oregon obviously is going to hurt them. It's also going to hurt Utah. We're assuming that Utah beats them in the Pac-12 championship game. But Utah, as of now, has no wins over ranked opponents. Oklahoma's gone into Texas. They beat Texas. They beat, I believe, Iowa State was ranked.
They were.
Most recently, Baylor as well.
And Oklahoma State.
And Oklahoma State as well.
Yes.
And so then they have to play Baylor again, and we're assuming that Oklahoma beats them because that's not going to be an easy game.
It will not be.
2 times, second time around. But I think Oklahoma is going to have a stronger case than either teams. But the one thing that we kind of talk about on our show that's interesting is, you know, for Oregon, playing Auburn week 1, right? Did that hurt them, right? Did the AD put them in a bad spot by scheduling Auburn
At Auburn.
Yep. First game of the season?
Yep.
Right, and I don't know if, you know, that's when you look at Alabama, they're playing FCS opponents. You know, first 2 games, beating teams by 50, 60 points. You know, so I just wonder, I go back to Oregon, did they miss out because they scheduled a SEC team first game of the season?
What you get for biting off more than you can chew. Don't mess with the SEC. Y'all know we represent down in the South. Don't mess with the South.
Even if it was a freshman quarterback in his first
Yeah,
game.
well, what they did all about
Good
that.
game,
Yeah,
too.
it was a really good game.
For me, I'm going to say Utah. I agree with you, Reggie. They both have very, very similar resumes. But when you look at Utah, they won 8 straight games by an average of 29 points. Only 1 game has been within 1 score. That's Washington. They did lose to USC, but Reggie was in attendance. What did you expect? You know they're going to rise up. Man, the Godfather was there. So, you know, they played out of their mind that game.
There it is. That's what it was.
But I look at Oklahoma.
You got a
Skip.
penalty flag, too.
Yeah, I know.
Oklahoma, 3 straight wins by 4 points or less. Iowa State should have kicked the PAT and taken the game into overtime. Baylor had them. They got off the hook. Baylor let them off the hook. They pulled their best Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl, and we know what happened with that. But you can't lose to Kansas State. You can't lose to Kansas State by 100 and make the college football playoff. Look, and now that we look back at it, Texas, that was not impressive.
Yeah.
That was not impressive, Skip.
They took a turn.
I haven't spoken
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, I know you're talking about, see, you're a homer. Because I already know Boomer soon. You're going to be, I want to see Jalen Hurts, and he going to win.
Wait, so you're putting words in my mouth?
No. Utah will deserve this, but I'm hoping for the unexpected. I want Georgia to upset LSU, so everything status quo will be as it is.
Where's Alabama in this discussion?
No, you go.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Alabama?
Okay with that, Shannon?
This is what happened.
Did they give up football?
No. What happened is the Alabama Invitational, and people were tired of us going every year.
Really?
So we took a year off. We'll be back next year.
So nice of you.
So
Appreciate
ain't
that.
Nick Saban? He
No,
gave up 48 in the
First
Iron Bowl?
time.
40?
They won't be in the
know.
playoffs.
Wow.
Oh, well, I mean, we can't factor in 2 pick sixes, but they won. Auburn won. Give them credit.
It's a new era.
So, Shannon Sharpe obviously just picked Utah to be the 4th team because he hates Oklahoma, because I love Oklahoma, because I can't help loving Oklahoma because I got born and raised in the tradition. It's in my blood. Shannon, it is happening again. For the 3rd straight year, right before your very eyes. One loss, Oklahoma is going to the 4th spot in the college football playoffs. And I'll be the first to tell you,
You don't get beat down.
they don't deserve it. They just don't, but they're going to go because it's going to come down to this. Jalen Hurts and Lincoln Riley or Kyle Whittingham and Tyler Huntley. Nobody even knows who Kyle Whittingham and Tyler Huntley. Nobody can name anybody for Utah. But everybody knows Lincoln Riley might be the next Dallas Cowboy coach. Yeah. And listen, Jalen Hurts has had a phenomenal year, and I still have to wonder, what if he had been the Alabama quarterback this year? Maybe he would have stayed healthier, because he is like, you want to talk about, I'm knocking on wood for him, but he is a durable, big young man.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for Tua, we would not have that national championship that we played Georgia.
Well, if it wasn't for Jalen,
up the first half.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Jalen Hurts last year, you would not have made the college football playoff.
We would have made it.
You would not have. He saved you in the 4th quarter of the SEC
But we didn't have no losses, so we still was going to go.
Maybe.
Even with one loss, we were going.
Okay, so here we go again, because Baker Mayfield lost at home to Iowa State in his year that he went to the college football playoffs. Iowa State was a 31-point underdog at Norman, Oklahoma, and pulled that off, 37-31. I still don't know how it happened. And they managed to overcome that and go to the playoffs.
And caught a nail.
Played Georgia. Well, it took 2 overtimes to catch an L. It's not bad when you have one of the worst defenses in the nation. Yeah. And then last year, they lost a shootout to Texas, but they came back in the Big 12 championship game with Kyler, and they avenged the loss, and they went.
And they called an L, but
and if they had Hollywood Brown, who is lighting up pro football right now, it would have been a very different story that night.
More injured than
they could have had Hollywood, Miami, Destin. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so I keep hearing that the Oklahoma defense is much improved over a year ago, and the stats scream that it is much improved, because they finished last year 114th in the country in yards allowed. They're 26th this year. Last year they finished 101st in the country in points allowed. They're 52nd. That's like kind of respectable.
Almost half.
But guess what happened? They went up to Kansas State.
Manhattan.
Little Apple, Manhattan.
Yeah,
Not the Big Apple, the Little Apple. And in a shock to me, they gave up 48 points to a team that had scored all of 13 against Oklahoma State and 12 against Baylor. That's Kansas State.
Yes.
48 points and you lose 48-41. How do you do that? And then they come right back against Iowa State and they somehow survive 42-41 because Iowa State did go for the throat and go for the win. And the quarterback threw to the wrong receiver because the big tight end was just like all alone at the goal line and he just missed it.
And it was pass interference
anyway. It was close, but I think you're not going to throw that flag on that play, not at Norman, Oklahoma. So they got away with that one. Then they fell behind at halftime to Baylor 31-10. And I witnessed in the second half the most improbable comeback in college football history to me. If you had eye tested the first half, Oklahoma could not stop Baylor. Now, it was at Baylor. That's one Saturday is going to be at Jerry World, but they could not stop them. And in the second half, this is the great thing about football, you can actually play keep away. If you pull it off, you can play a whole game of keep away. And in the second half, guess what? My team held the ball for 24 minutes. Baylor had it for 6 minutes. It was 57 plays for Oklahoma in the second half to 16 plays for Baylor. And Baylor had 2 turnovers.
Exactly. That was the difference in the ball game.
Okay, but Jalen Hurts just kept making third down after fourth down after third down. They just snap it to him. And listen, he is not Lamar Jackson because he doesn't have near that kind of burst. But trust me, he can run the rock with patience and guts and guile and strength and it's just he's got a knack
Yeah,
for
he does.
getting yards, and he can make you miss if he gets in your secondary.
And he can throw it too.
He can throw
the
it.
football well too.
He's going to play for somebody in pro
Yeah.
football. I didn't used to think that, but I'm one over.
I would agree 100% with you. I think now, even more so, looking at what Lamar Jackson is doing,
Yep.
it's opening
It
up
does.
doors
His
more
door-
and more for guys like Jalen Hurts.
His door is wide open. So they
Yeah.
come back somehow and beat Baylor. And now Vegas is saying they're an 8.5-point favorite over a team that had them down 31-10 at halftime. That seems like too many points.
Defense better show up.
You better show way
Better
up,
show up.
in that game.
Let's go Bears. I love the Baylor Bears. Baylor Bears is a good team. Yeah, I like Baylor.
Well,
They
and
are
their
loaded.
turnaround is pretty remarkable in the last couple of years.
The one thing that Baylor does have is they got that defense. And
Yeah.
their defense has been playing lights out all season long for the most part. But in that second half is where they gave it up to Oklahoma. If that defense can play better this time around, they're going to have a good shot to win it.
You want to talk about just willing a team to win? Jalen Hurts just said,
He
okay,
did.
I'll take it. Put it on my back, and I'll take you home. And he took them all the way home.
He dodged the bullet. Oklahoma State without their quarterback, running back, torn ACL. I mean, you guys dodged some bullets this year.
You got me on that.
They had Tyler Wallace.
Yeah.
No, you got me.
giving you
You're
headaches
right.
this year too. Jeez.
Yeah, that Kansas State gave me a stomach ache, is what it gave me.
Are you
Baylor had 'em.
superstitious watching
They did.
Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terribly.
You have different routines. Okay. I just wanted to
have,
make sure it
yeah.
wasn't just the Cowboys. I wasn't
Yep.
sure if it was
But
always
every
the same.
year they seem to survive their one loss.
It don't even matter, though.
Yep.
Thursday night happening.
Let's see.
Oh, no, you're back to Thursday.
Jalen Hurts and Lincoln Riley, or are those Utah guys?
Utah, Utes. Everybody want to see the
Coach
Utes.
Whittingham has had
Really?
a lot of
Yep.
successful programs
Yeah.
over the last couple
Yeah.
of years.
No,
But
I
the
agree.
Pac-12 after dark, it's just in terms of
Pac-12 after
the nation and who's watching,
Yeah.
it does hurt
Nobody
those
watching.
teams.
Nobody.
East Coast, everybody in the bed. Ain't nobody was
And if it was different, we tried to convince them if they wanted to kick off at 9 a.m.
We
for
tried.
June,
We
but
tried hard,
I'm really
too.
going for it because it's hard. It's hard to get the eyeballs.
Yeah.
Well, out here in Los Angeles, you can watch my Sooners at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Yeah,
No.
we like to keep you happy.
Yep.
Just
Watch
ready
them,
to go.
Shannon.
I be working out.
Yeah. Watch the miracle
Appreciate you
happen.
watching
Y'all
us
go.
on the
Y'all
weekend.
y'all
Shannon.
catching the nail.
Yeah, I think you're in trouble again.
Y'all catching the
You
nail.
know, Oklahoma's going to survive to the playoffs, and Dallas is going to survive to
I
the
think
playoffs.
I might be willing to put a case of do on that too.
Yeah?
Really?
Yeah, I'm
oh,
thinking
that's
about
gutsy of you.
Okay.
I guess, hold on. I need the 8.5 points though.
No, you don't.
No, hold on. Skip, hold on.
They were hit 31-10.
No. So what does Vegas say?
Yeah.
Vegas say 8.5. I need 8.5. 8.5, Skip.
No points. I'll take it head up right now.
No.
Straight up.
Yeah, I
Skip,
can't- 8.5.
Yeah, that's what Vegas said.
I can't take that. I can't get 8.5, Sharpe.
Skip,
No.
give me 8.5.
Nope.
I would do it for you.
31
Yeah, of
10.
course
You
you
wouldn't do
would.
anything.
Yes, I would.
That's why
No.
we've given up.
I got it.
stew over
Let's
the
do
last
it. Head
few
up.
years.
No. Straight up for a case right now.
No.
That 8.5 is dicey.
All right, I'm going to let you guys think about this one. Well, I hope you both catch Reggie and I in Indy this weekend. See you there, Reggie. Thank you so much for being here.
No mercy.
Dallas lost to the Bills last week, and now they'll face Chicago on Thursday. The Cowboys have one of the most potent offenses in the NFL this year, ranking number 1 in total yards per game. But when it comes to scoring points, they're ranked just 8th. So, Shannon, interesting stuff. How do you explain this?
6-6 ball club. They see what's happening is, Jenny, is they move the ball really well between the 20s, but then they have to settle, for field goals. And then a lot of that is old mop up. They get a lot of yards at the end of the game when the game has been over for a long time, like with Green Bay, Skip Bayless, like we saw the other day, Buffalo.
It's coming down to an onside
It ain't coming
kick,
down to nothing.
just as the Patriots came down to an onside kick.
This is what I keep telling you. Points win you game, not yards. You talk about, Belichick, the Patriots give up all these yards. Yeah, but how many points? You can have 500 yards all you want to, but give me those. I'm going to hold you to 10 points. And then you see teams that have.
Yeah, like Philly scored 41 in the Super Bowl. You like that?
Skip, you take
Can you defend that?
Skip, you take an isolated incident.
That was not isolated. That's the biggest stage in the sport.
Okay, what about how did Jared Goff look last year? Oh, yeah.
How does he usually look
He looked good. He had 424 on 32 completions Sunday.
on the Arizona
They'll do that,
Cardinals?
Skip. Is that a football team?
They cut the DB the next day.
That's what you tell me. Are they a football team?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The NFL. Skip, it shows that they're 17th in touchdown percentage in the red zone. So once they get the ball to the 20-yard line, they're only 17th. So that just shows their average. And it's shocking considering what they possess on the offensive side of the football with Amari, with Zeke, with Dak, Gallup. They should be better. But it just goes to show you what good is yards, Skip, if you're 6-6. Yards don't win you anything. Points win you games. and you guys can't score when it matters. So that's why you're 6-6, and you're upset because you're gonna get knocked out the playoffs. And you know what you're gonna say, Skip? This is what you're gonna say. You're gonna next year when you come in, Jenny, he goes like, but we led the NFL in yards, but you were home for the playoffs. And you're gonna say that's something to build on, but you're gonna have to start all over again with Jason Garrett.
My quarterback leads the whole league in yards passing. For much of the year, he's led the league in QBR, and he's now third in the league in QBR, and they're 6-6. So why is that? This is quite a shocking disparity to go first in yards and 8th in points.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't have some deep stat on that, but I'll bet it's been a while since somebody was first in yards and 8th in points.
Yeah.
Maybe they'd be 3rd or 4th in points, but not 8th.
Yes.
So I'm going to plunge on this.
What you gonna plunge and say?
I'm going to put it almost all on the shoulder pads of my quarterback. He is not having the same year he had last year down the stretch. They went 8-2 down the stretch, and this has been the flip side of that because, again, the key stat to me is in goal to go. This isn't even red zone. This is when you get it first and goal from the whichever, 9, 8, 7.
Right.
And they cash in at a rate that ranks 20th in the NFL. That's how you go 6-6.
Yeah,
that's what happens because there are too many of those left on the table because you have to settle too many times for 3 instead of 7. You're leaving 4 on the table and 4 more and 4 here and 4 there and 4 over here, and then sometimes your kicker is missing that field goal because they had brought in 3 guys over the weekend to compete for his job, which I do not love because now you've planted more psychological demons in the back of his psyche.
That was already planted. Did you see him how he shanked those field goals?
Yeah.
Demons were already there.
He doesn't just shank, he hooks also.
Yeah.
He does both.
Yeah.
They go both ways. He's a two-way misser.
So what does that tell you, Skip, about the kickers they didn't sign? They were worse than your guy.
Okay.
That's why he's still there.
But now you have to lean on him to cash field goals when you can't cash touchdowns.
Good luck.
Okay, well, I'm saying the quarterback, for whatever reason, has not made enough plays. He makes all kinds of plays that don't really matter, but he hasn't made enough of the key plays, the winning plays, the over-the-top play.
Sound like Shannon Sharpe talking to me.
No, I haven't heard that from you.
I've been telling you that you're quiet. Skip, why you think I've been getting him Fs? You think I've been getting him F for my help? You think I like giving him an F? I don't.
Yeah.
But I give him what he earned.
You give him Fs because you don't like him as a quarterback because I love him as a quarterback.
Earned, Jenny, if I was a teacher, you know, Lord forbid, I give a kid what he earned. When the parents come to me and say, hey, you messing over my kid, I'm going to show him the schoolwork. Your kid messing over me. Dak, I just show you Dak numbers. I show you the game tape. It ain't me, it's him.
Well, there have been a lot of games that he just lit it up.
Hey, what do you got to show for it?
The defense
now you blaming the defense.
is 26th in forcing turnovers. Think about that. They've caused or forced 12 turnovers in 12 games. Think about that.
Okay, they have forced.
So this is a lethal combination. The quarterback's not making he's making a whole bunch of plays, but he doesn't make the play, and the defense cannot make any plays.
If you don't mind me asking, how many times you guys have turned the ball over? Defense ain't turned it over. How many times you guys turned it over?
A few.
Okay, yeah, a few.
More than last year.
So what I'm trying
he has cut down. He used to be sack fumbler, and he doesn't do that.
Yeah, he doing a better job of
once.
that. But here's the thing, though, Skip. Although they're what, 22nd, 23rd in turnovers, forcing turnovers, where you guys in red zone?
26th.
So you could offset that, Skip. They're not getting turnovers and you punching the ball in the red zone. You could offset them. That's what you're supposed to be.
But the red zone's not as bad as goal to go.
Yeah.
That's when you go deep in the red zone and you get it to first
That's your
goal
guy.
at the 7.
That's your guy.
Get it in the end zone.
Let Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, Lamar Jackson get that thing in. Oh, Russell Wilson get that thing in. Deshaun Watson get it in. That's why I told you. If my homeboy get it in, that's why you got the fifth best one.
Which brings me to Kellen Moore. I thought he was going to be a godsend for Dak Prescott. And I've got to tell you, as time has worn on, he has worn out his welcome.
Hold on. Time out. Wait a minute. The guy's number 1 in passing yards. He's 3rd in QBRs. He's 3rd in air distance. And now so you keep blaming everybody else. It's still that guy's fault.
Well, I just said, but I'm not seeing the play call where I say, oh, boy, that was creative. That was clever.
Skip.
And then that brings me to the running back. You said, just give it to Zeke.
Give it to Zeke.
Not the same guy anymore. And you can't see it, and you won't. You do see it, but you won't admit it.
'Cause you won't
He's
give him the ball.
just not that
He
guy.
get the ball. I mean, he get going good. He was going good against Buffalo. He gets stopped twice. No, we can't run it anymore. Let's throw it to Dak. Let's let Dak just throw it all over the yard, and and that's what happens.
The
you get beat
turning
26-15.
point of this whole Cowboys season, when we could have just taken off
There you
and
are.
just seized a
Nope.
stranglehold
Nope.
on the division,
Nope.
was against Jenny's Minnesota Vikings. Big night game, Jerry World, big national stake. My quarterback took the ball at the 6-yard line. He threw them all the way down to 2nd and 2 at the 11-yard line. This is cash it in time, because if you score 6 or 7, I don't know if Brett Maher could make the kick or not, but if you score 7, you're going to win the football game.
No, you're not.
And boy, they're listening to Shannon Sharpe. You just handed to Ezekiel
Oh,
Elliott. You run the football.
Okay.
Baloney.
Yep.
They ran it for 0 and they ran it for -3, and then they dared to throw it on 4th down to Zeke on a little out route that he could not win on.
Okay, well, what about, so are we going to, I said now, hand the ball to Zeke, but also I want you to block for him. Now, you think his offensive line block for him?
Every once in a while, your running back who makes $50 million guaranteed, he has to go make a play.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Make one play
If you
in the
don't-
hole.
if you don't mind me asking,
Jump cut.
how much-
do something.
If you don't mind me asking, how much did offensive line make? They make $100 million between them.
Probably more than that.
Exactly.
Probably more.
So are they going to do their job? And you keep telling me your guy, he let us down from the 6 all the way down to the 11. That's my point. That's why you're 1st in yards and you're 8th in points.
And
because guess what? He led you down to the 11, but did he lead you to the promised land?
Oh, did he get a chance to lead you?
Yeah,
to
he got a
promised land?
chance too.
What was he really great at last year? What did he do to Russell Wilson in a playoff game?
Oh, my God.
He ran the football. This team is far more dangerous when his number gets called in key moments, such as a quarterback draw
They called
or a read
it on
option
Thanksgiving.
keeper.
Remember, he had almost double the amount of passes that Zeke had carries. His number got called. And what did he do?
Got to run.
2 turnovers.
Yep.
That's what your guy had.
He can really gash a defense running the football because he goes about 240 and he can move pretty
Yeah,
well.
and he can really help a defense by giving us the ball. He's been good at that, Skip.
He has not been good at that.
Oh, no. He hadn't been good at fumbling the ball. He's been good at throwing it into our bellies.
Yep. Listen, that guy's got the biggest will and heart on the team, and when you get 1st and goal at the 7, if you let the quarterback run it a couple times, I will bet you he gets it in the end zone.
No, he ain't.
He would will it into the
Yeah, he
end
got
zone.
his big will, but they got big won'ts when he comes to the goal line.
Yep.
Because he won't get it in.
Yep. Well,
What can you
Well, I don't
do?
know to tell you.
yep. Nothing.
Chicago.
We're gonna win the NFC East. so
Nah,
it's okay.
They're going to win it regardless.
I'm
of
already
wins or
working.
losses.
I got me some of them old deep dish ales. You know, you go to Chicago, you got to get that deep dish.
That's a good point.
You know, Italian sausage. You know, Skip. I get pepperoni.
Yep.
I'm talking crust this high.
Cowboys have been such repeat offenders. You probably know the orders right now.
But you come to wherever I am, I find the local cuisine and I put it in the ale. So they get a deep dish ale. Yeah.
Really
So Dallas has
thoughtful of
lost 6 games, and the Philadelphia Eagles have lost 7 games. So
Yep.
do they own your restaurant?
First
or
of
what?
all, we're not talking about the Eagles. This segment was not about the Eagles.
They
This
come at
segment was
the
about the
same time?
Cowboys.
Well, it is,
Yeah.
because all that really matters is how bad the Eagles are.
Deep dish ale.
Yeah.
Meatballs, spicy meatballs. I like
Okay.
the churros. Got some Italian sausage. Got some pepperoni up in that thing,
Oh,
Jenny.
great.
Woo! Delicious.
No mercy.
The Patriots lost to the Texans in Houston Sunday night. Tom Brady was frustrated for the majority of the game, completing just 24 of his 47 passes, and he was shown on the sideline yelling at his receivers that they need to be better. But help might be on the way. Hall of Famer Deion Sanders has guaranteed the Patriots would add a wide receiver in the coming weeks in order to boost the struggling offense. So, Shannon, what do you make of this?
I need time to come on here and stop talking this foolishness. Skip, when he said this, and I read it, the first name that came to my mind was Dez Bryant. That's the only guy that I think is available. What other guy that's out there? Because if there's a guy out there that could help the Patriots that's not Antonio Brown, wouldn't he be on someone's roster? I mean, Michael Irvin can't play. Michael Irvin don't have any more eligibility. So but even if it is Dez, Skip, I don't think he can help much because the Patriots offense is you need to be where you're supposed to be. Guys are technically sound. AB, for whatever his hiccups and drawbacks are, he can run around.
Yep.
And he's going to be where he's supposed to be, and he can get there in a hurry. Tom Brady's yelling on the sideline, guys, we need to be faster. Guys, speed up, hurry up. Dez Bryant's coming off an Achilles injury, hadn't played football in over a year. How fast
It
is
was
it?
never known as a route runner.
No, it was never known as a speedster. So you want Tom Brady now to throw jump balls? Maybe Dez can help someone, but I don't know if it's this situation. I don't know if the Patriots is the right situation for him, given the way they run their offense. And to get up to speed on that playbook, to come in, I mean, maybe they can do it like they did Josh Gordon. He's like, okay, line up on the right, run a slant. Line up on the left, run a slant. Until you get up to speed. But that's asking an awful lot, Skip, to a guy come in week 13 and get him up to speed for a team that has aspirations of contending for a Super Bowl. So I don't really know if whatever they need is on this roster already. That's what they got.
I cannot imagine Dez Bryant being a New England Patriot right now. I'm not sure I could have imagined Dez being a Patriot in his prime. I'm just not sure he's the right fit. I could be wrong, and that's the obvious way to lean on this, given the fact that Dion does live in Dallas, and he would probably be in touch with Dez.
Correct.
Maybe Dez has told him, I'm talking to the Patriots. That's all I can figure out.
I mean, Dez has posted that, he's a couple of weeks away and want an opportunity. So that's the thing. That's the only thing I can think of, Skip.
The only other guy who springs to mind for me is a guy who sort of quote-unquote replaced Dez Bryant. A guy I'm a big fan of is Bryce Butler, who is out there. He is available, and he once upon a time ran a 4.37 40 at the Combine. He's a really good guy, and Dak loved him. They have obviously moved on with Amari, but Bryce is out there, and he went with Colin Kaepernick to Atlanta to be one of his receivers in the quote-unquote whatever it was, audition. And again, I know Bryce was hoping that somebody would see him also.
Right.
And unfortunately, how many went the hour south? About 7 of the reps went south.
Right. Sure.
Okay. So the point is, I don't know. Maybe Bryce could help them because he would be a better fit, and I think he's a good route runner, and I think he can run. He's 29 years old.
Well, he got the speed that can take the top off. That's what they need, Skip. They need somebody that can get down the field in a hurry that Brady can at least throw a go ball to and maybe have a chance to complete it. Nobody right now, Skip, because it's taking them, like I said, they burned so much time off the clock. They burned 6 minutes to go 13 plays because they have no one that can push the ball down the field, too.
Correct. So here's my biggest problem with Deion Sanders saying a receiver will be added soon. What did we see in Tom versus Time? What did we see both Edelman and Amendola doing with Tom Brady in the summertime?
It worked out with him.
Big Sky, Montana for a week, where they went out every afternoon for I don't know how long, a couple of hours. They ran routes, and he threw them passes. And he was establishing rapport and connection with those two to where he can trust them under fire in the cold in Foxborough in a playoff game, right? And he lives for repetitions with his receivers.
Correct.
So you're going to tell me, let's take, I don't know, Bryce Butler. You're telling me that Bryce is going to go in there in mid-December and suddenly say, I got it, Tom. I get you. I'm right there with you. No, he needs to rep these kids like N'Keal Harry. What was the problem the other night? That's his third game. He hasn't had enough practice reps with Tom Brady. They're not connected. So Tom fell back in the last quarter and a half on he trusts two guys.
Right.
They're little tiny guys.
And who are the guys that he spent the most time with? James White and Julian Edelman.
That's it.
And so when rubber needs to meet the road,
I trust
you. I trust you. Everybody else to hell with you.
That is what he said, basically, because they will be where he thinks they're going to be.
Correct.
And they will read the defense the way Tom is reading the defense on the fly, where they will be connected mentally.
And they'll make a play on the ball.
They will make a play on the ball. They will come and get the ball.
That's it.
Okay? So how can you throw a new guy into the mix and think it's going to change life?
When their offense is that Brady, really and truly, like, let's just say you just clear the deck and you say, okay, this side, make Brady close his eyes. You say, Brady, this side is covered. He can like, not even looking, Skip. He can throw over there because he knows where the guy's going to be. You call the play, the right side's covered, Brady, and he can throw where the guy's going to be and the guy catch the ball. So that's what he needs to have, that he knows the guy's going to be here. Edelman's going to be where he's supposed to be when Brady's ready to throw. James White's going to be where. And so for me to bring a guy in, when Brady is so much of what he does is on precision, timing, and trust. To just bring a guy and says, okay, yeah, you played in the NFL before, okay, go on out there. It ain't that easy.
Yeah. So he's got two guys who can run, Philip Dorsett, and he's kind of lost connection with him because I saw two deep balls the other night where Philip Dorsett went this way and Tom threw it over there.
Right. And the thing is, he's like Jacoby Myers, Brady's rolling to him, he takes off and then he pulls up. Brady's like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, I'm throwing it upfield. Kirk Cousins did it last night where it was like a broken play.
Yeah.
And his receiver got it. Oh, I should bolt. I should go. Yeah.
It was a wide open touchdown.
Wide open, easy 6.
Yeah.
Okay. So in this case, what happened on the N'Keal Harry route? Well, it was classic because Brady was trying to go to Edelman on the strong side, and so he's reading across, and his last resort, as the whole pocket's collapsing, the last resort is the rookie receiver over here. And he wants him to come hard on his cut inside and shield off Roby, who ended up running a route because N'Keal Harry ran at half speed in Tom's eyes. Like he didn't come with a vengeance for the football. He didn't want to fight for the football. And that was the end of N'Keal Harry in that game.
Yeah, and Roby probably knew, listening at the formation, that Brady's going right. The guy's going to take his time. Once that guy stuttered, because if it's a go route, Skitty B's not going to stutter. Once that guy stuttered, Bradley Roby knows he's running the under. Yeah. So Roby says, I just got to beat you to the spot.
Yeah.
And he beat him to the spot.
Yeah, because he knows time is up for Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Okay.
Once he doesn't come over there and he sees him, takes his time, and all of a sudden he comes hard, Roby says, guess what? You running the under, I'm going to beat you to the spot.
And he did.
He beat him to the spot.
Yeah. And it was a huge play. It was a turning point.
You know what it is, Skip? It was the same play that Porter picked Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
They came with the blitz. He knows when Reggie Wayne started, he's going to run the under. He says, if I beat you to the spot,
I got you.
I got you. And he got it. Pick 6.
Yep.
No mercy.
Here's the thing. Antonio Brown is back at it. Just moments ago, AB fired off another tweet writing this. They don't want me to be great. They want my name slandered. They want to finish us. They control the narrative. Never trust they. That is the latest from AB. There were no photos attached. That is everything he just said in that tweet. So, Shannon, what do you make of this?
They missed practice in Pittsburgh. They were constantly late for meetings in Pittsburgh. They refused to go to a walkthrough with the Raiders when the walkthrough was in the hotel ballroom. They refused to come to practice after they lost the appeal, the second appeal for a helmet. They did this.
They wanted to fight the GM of the Oakland Raiders.
Because he docked him for not coming to the walkthrough, wanted to dock they for not coming to practice. They wants to control. I'm going to take the T and the Y off of this. Okay. He wants to control the narrative.
That's good.
A narrative that the NFL will never allow you to control. AB, in any business, you must conform. Now, if you want to do things your way, I recommend you go get you a team and you do whatever, how you feel. But if you think the NFL is going to allow you to do the things that you've been doing, if you think another team is going to allow you for what Pittsburgh allowed you to do for years, show up late for meetings, show up late for practice, do your own thing, those days are over. That they that you're talking about in this tweet is you. That's who they is. There is no they. They don't care about no narrative, but they do care about how you conduct yourself on the job. And so they will not allow you to behave in the manner that you've behaved with for so long. And what has happened, Skip, is that what happens with AB, as long as you let him do what he wants to do, AB will be just fine. But the moment you give him some resistance, he wants to buck. And so they're like, the buck stops here, bro. There's only one way to do it, AB. Okay, you've tried it your way. AB, how about try it another way? You tried to do it your way in Pittsburgh and it eventually got you. Hey, they tolerate until they can replace. Okay, Oakland, you tried to buck. They got you up out of there. Whatever happened in New England has happened. You've tried it your way for the last 3-4 years, and it's gotten you here. I'm not talking about what your behavior, whatever transpired off the field, that will be heard. You'll get your day, and then hopefully it works out in your favor. But your behavior, bro, they ain't tolerating that anymore. So you can get all this they and say, and everybody can try to say, we know who we talking about, they. Nah, remove the T, remove the why. He is the reason why what's transpiring right now is his fault.
So, to all the points that you just made, and they're all bullseye points, I believe that either Antonio Brown was watching our show earlier when we criticized him, or that he was just scrolling through his many mentions and he saw a couple of his blind loyalists saying, AB, did you see what they said about you on Undisputed? Yeah. And he needed to send a message back to his blind loyalists that said, hey, they just want to tear me down. I got this. We got this. We're all good. But that they want to drag me down.
Right.
No, the Hall of Famer across from me, Pro Football Hall of Famer across from me, from the start has tried to pull you up by your sort of effective bootstraps, but by saying, hey, you can't do that and survive in this league.
No.
You're going to be completely out of football if you don't do this or do that.
Right.
And when he says they want my name slandered, no, we don't.
No.
In fact, I don't think we've made up or exaggerated a single detail of his misbehavior, his rampant misbehavior.
Yeah, man, any point in time, AB can come on, he can tweet. Shannon Sharpe is lying about me being late for meetings. Shannon Sharpe is lying about me being late for practice. Shannon Sharpe he lied when he said I didn't show up for walkthrough that was in the ballroom. Shannon Sharpe at any point in time.
You could, yeah. And you didn't even start to mention all the off the field. Lord have mercy. It's a whole different dynamic. And again, he was the one who group texted his second accuser and threatened her. That got him up out of New England.
Right.
He was the one who trashed Robert Kraft after that happened. And then he tried to apologize, and then he reposted yesterday one of his followers trashing Robert Kraft. And then he took that down. So he just keeps digging his social media hole deeper and deeper.
And Skip, the thing is, normally, I've never owned a business. I've never really wanted to own a business. Not that type of businessman. Skip, how many people do you think you could sue and then they welcome you back with, oh, yeah, come on back and work for me? You know, Antonio Brown is suing the Patriots for the $9 million that he said he deserves.
That's true.
Now, he is suing the Patriots. The Patriots say, oh, yeah, AB, we're going to let bygones be bygones. Bruh, your behavior, Skip, look at the way, like I said, I had a friend, and I'm not trying to play a psychopath, but I had a friend, and he ended up getting diagnosed. Skip, some morning, Skip, he coming in, he bouncing off, he great. The next moment, he wanted to fight everybody. I'm talking to him. Shay, man, you know they be tripping. No, you tripping.
Yep.
I say, Sam, you came in here yesterday. Come on, bruh. And he's like, you right. But the thing is, some people you can talk to, you can ration, you can reason with.
Yep.
AB seems to be a guy that you can't ration with. Why? You keep doing it this way, and here you are. AB, you've done it for your way. How far has it gotten you? Just ask you a simple question. It got you this. Because he wasn't like this, Skip. He was waiting for the moment that he could be great. So his true colors can come out. Because I can assure you, when he first got to Pittsburgh at that 5th or 6th round pick, he wasn't behaving like this. But the moment he started getting 100-catch season and 1,300 yards and started making all-pro, then it started creeping because they give you a little leeway. But see, the really great players, Skip, they get certain benefits or privileges, but they don't abuse them. Tom Brady, you don't think Tom Brady get privileges? You don't think the great players get privileges? But the really great ones that understand who and what they are, they don't abuse them. He abused his, and this is where he is.
Okay, we're going to leave AB for now. Possibly he'll have more to say and respond to us, I'm sure, another day.
No mercy.
Carmelo Anthony was named the Western Conference Player of the Week. He averaged 22 points per game as the Blazers went 3-0 following his triumphant return to the NBA. He last won the award in 2014 when he played for the Knicks. So, Shannon, did Melo deserve it?
Skip, I'm glad Melo's back, and I really hope that he's found a home now and he can play as long as he wants to play. But Melo didn't deserve this award, Skip. James Harden, Carmelo Anthony had 67 points and 8 assists in 3 games. James Harden had 60 points in 3/4 of a ball game. For the week in which he won that award, Skip, James Harden averaged 42 points with 8 assists. If anybody else in the Western Conference got that award other than James Harden, it would have been utterly ridiculous. Carmelo should have got comeback player of the week. But Skip, come on now. This is ridiculous. This ain't no sentimentality stuff here going on.
Shannon Sharpe, it's holiday time.
Yeah, nah.
This is the shocking feel-good story
No.
of the
Feel-good.
year. This came out of nowhere. You didn't see this coming. I didn't see this coming. For Carmelo Anthony to even be a candidate already for Player of the Week is stunning to
It
me.
was great, Skip,
I'm
but-
happy for him. Give it to him. It's
Skip,
just Player of the Week.
Skip.
It's not MVP.
The man averaged 42 and 8.
Stop it.
The man had more assists than
Yeah.
Carmelo had in 3 games.
He does that every week. Carmelo's doing this out of nowhere.
We'll give it to him, Skip. You even said, what James Harden is doing you've never seen before.
I mean, it's a feel-good story, Shannon. Come on.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.